Chapter 2251, Heavenly Court's Interference. Chapter 2251, Heavenly Court's Interference. All along, Fang Yuan's foreign policy had been extremely flexible. For instance, the content of the Contribution Board, Mission Board, and Exchange Board were different when comparing the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance and the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. Similarly, the Eastern Sea Gu Immortals had to accept strict alliance agreements when they joined the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance, but when the Gu Immortals of other four regions joined, their alliance agreements were extremely relaxed with almost no bindings. Such details were enough for Star Constellation Immortal Venerable to learn of Fang Yuan's sinister and vicious mind. She had a clear judgment of Western Desert situation. Fang clan must be suppressed, they cannot be allowed to rise in power. If need be, they must be eradicated. Otherwise, once other super forces start to imitate them, it will greatly increase Fang Yuan's influence over the five regions. Fang Yuan relied on Immortal Gu transactions and other supporting methods to easily stir the situation of the five regions' Gu immortal world. As the saying went, humans die for wealth and birds die for food. If this situation was allowed to develop to become a common sentiment, then Fang Yuan's influence would cover the five regions in the future. Even if not all the five regions were affected, it would at least influence three regions. At that time, with just a thought, Fang Yuan could control the Gu immortal world of Southern Border, Western Desert, and Eastern Sea to besiege Central Continent. Naturally, no matter how many Gu immortals the three regions had, they could not hold a candle to Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. A venerable was invincible, especially a venerable who was starting to exhibit the might of a Tao Lord. But venerables could threaten each other. If Fang Yuan's influence made the three regions' Gu immortals into cannon fodder, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable would have no choice but to make a move to protect Central Continent. As such, there would be a change in the contest of three venerables. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable would be hindered by those cannon fodder, while Fang Yuan could take the chance to surpass her. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was the #1 wisdom path Gu immortal since the ancient times. Fang Yuan's scheme had just started, and she already saw through it from some small details. Currently, in the contest of three venerables, everyone is giving their all to refine natural Tao marks. Fang Yuan is lagging behind, so he is using this trick to shorten the gap. Will it go like you wish? Star Constellation Immortal Venerable made a decision immediately. Zhou Xiong Xian, Wan Zihong, go on an expedition to Western Desert. Western Desert. Sun Clan Headquarters. Sun Clan's first Supreme Elder was discussing with Wan Haoguang and Wan Shao. Fang Clan attacked my Wan Clan abruptly, they are seizing my Wan Clan's resource points in a frenzy, they have already gone mad. This act is completely of the demonic path, everyone in Fang Clan has entered the demonic path, Fang Clan is the biggest demon's nest in Western Desert. Your clan is one of the core forces of Western Desert's righteous path, can you stand by and watch this situation? Wan Haoguang said righteously. Sun Clan's first Supreme Elder nodded and said, you are right, my Sun Clan will definitely use all our strength to maintain righteousness. But currently, Sun Clan is in a bit of trouble. Sun Clan's first Supreme Elder explained Sun Clan's difficulty, he assured them at the end that if one clan was able to gather other super forces, Sun Clan would definitely join and do their best for Western Desert. This old fox. After leaving Sun Clan's headquarters, Wan Haoguang said furiously. Wan Shao smiled bitterly, Sun Clan is the most timid among Western Desert super forces. It is not strange for Sun Clan's first Supreme Elder to say that. It is already his greatest sincerity to be here expressing his stance. Which clan should we go to next? Just as he was speaking, two figures flew over from the horizons, their rank 8 aura clear and unconcealed. Who is it? Ah, they are Heavenly Court Gu Immortals. Wan Shao and Wan Haoguang were on guard. They were not afraid, after all, they had myriad age building. The two Heavenly Court immortals were Zhou Xianxia and Wan Zihong. Please hold on a moment, friends from one clan. We are here to help you. Zhou Xianxia greeted from afar. Wan Xiao and Wan Haoguang looked at each other, seeing the joy in the depths of their eyes. Immediately, the two stopped on the spot, hiding their joy while being on full alert. The two Heavenly Court immortals stopped 1,000 steps away, expressing they bore no ill intentions. Wan Zihong did not speak, letting Zhou Xianxia explain their purpose in coming. Fang clan joined the so-called Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance, and received support from Heaven Refining Demon Venerable. They want to overthrow Western Desert's righteous path, and turn the whole of Western Desert into a demonic den. Although Heavenly Court is the leader of Central Continent, we cannot bear to watch this happen, so the two of us were sent to help and eliminate this demonic trend, in order to restore light to the world. Wan Haoguang asked, how will Heavenly Court help? Will Star Constellation Immortal Venerable make a move if necessary? These two questions were crucial. Heavenly Court's help was not a completely good thing for one clan. If it was not handled properly, it would be adding on to one clan's troubles and they would be beyond redemption. The reason? Heavenly Court was Central Continent's force, and this was Western Desert. Although 5 regional walls had disappeared, how could the 5 regional walls that had existed from the beginning of the world disappear so easily from the Gu immortals' hearts? If Heavenly Court were to personally interfere in one clan's fight, one clan would be publicly recognized as Heavenly Court's subordinate force, Central Continent's bridgehead in Western Desert. Under such a situation, Western Desert super forces would be vigilant and stay their hand. One clan would lose the reason for assembling the Western Desert super forces, and everyone would be on guard against them. What was an internal battle between Western Desert forces, would become the battle of Fang Yuan and Fang clan against Heavenly Court and Wan clan. Zhou Xianxia smiled, you can rest assured, we will not personally take part in this campaign against Fang clan. Wan Haoguang and Wan Xiao let out sighs of relief. Heavenly Court Gu immortals could not interfere directly. Zhou Xianxia continued, Wan clan's and Fang clan's fight is Western Desert's internal matter. The reason Heavenly Court is willing to help one clan is to deal with Heaven Refining Demon Venerable Fang Yuan. If Fang Yuan makes a move or sends his subordinates to participate in the battle, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable will not stand by and do nothing. Our Heavenly Court's immortals will also make a move to defend righteousness and ensure peace in the world. Wan Haoguang and Wan Xiao could not restrain their joy. Since the start, what they were most wary of was the relationship between Fang clan and Fang Yuan. If Fang Yuan made a move, which Western Desert super force could block him? No one. Heavenly Court's guarantee immediately removed one clan's greatest apprehension. When one clan rallied Western Desert forces later on, and these forces learned of this situation, they would definitely help one clan. Wan Xiao questioned, Fang clan joined the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance, and used resource points to exchange for a large number of immortal Gu, even constructing a new immortal Gu house. They are crazily relocating our resource points now, their intention is clear as day. So, can Heavenly Court sell us some immortal Gu? Wan Haoguang also looked at the two Heavenly Court immortals with bright eyes. Zhou Xianxia sneered inwardly, wishful thinking. Immortal Gu are unique. There are barely enough immortal Gu for us to use, how can we sell them? On the surface, however, he showed a smile, we cannot sell immortal Gu, but we can lend them. On the other hand, we can consider transacting immortal killer moves and immortal Gu recipes. Zhou Xianxia then gave a quote which immediately caused Wan Zhao's and Wan Haoguang's expressions to become unsightly. Heavenly Court's price was high, one clan's wallet would bleed if they wanted to reach that price. Heavenly Court's righteousness comes at a price. Zhou Xianxia suddenly said with a low voice, in fact, Heavenly Court will give financial support that will certainly satisfy your clan. Oh. We would like to hear the details. Eastern Sea. Fang Yuan was communicating with Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu. Bai Zhu, you clearly cultivate enslavement path, why are you asking me to refine blood path Gu? Fang Yuan deliberately asked. Far away in northern plains, Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu was smiling bitterly. He mumbled internally, you think I want to do this? But he had no choice. For the Blood Path Immortal Gu transaction, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable personally summoned Heavenly Lord Baizu to make him a middleman for the transaction. How could Heavenly Lord Baizu refuse? He was only a meager rank 8 Gu Immortal, and his clan was established in Northern Plains. He had no choice but to agree to Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's command. As the saying went, people had to be humble when they were in an inferior position. Heavenly Lord Baizu naturally resented Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. At the same time, he also resented Fong Yuan. Fong Yuan's speech as great love shook the whole world. He publicized his connection with the 5 regions' Gu immortals and forces. Among them, the transaction with Heavenly Lord Baizu was completely made up. Back then, Heavenly Lord Baizu had been so frightened that he even burnt his skewer. Fong Yuan wanted to use this to incite and probe Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's response. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's ideal was hereditary monarchy. Heavenly Lord Baizu was not his bloodline descendant. Baizu tribe was also being ostracized and suppressed by Huangjin tribes. This was Fong Yuan's incitement plan. Maybe it could make Huangjin tribes ally and exterminate Baizu tribe. Naturally, the possibility was small. The world did not lack smart people. But Fong Yuan's plan was extremely low cost. It took just a few words. And how would he know if he did not try? So, a grand rank 8 Gu Immortal Heavenly Lord Baizu had to live in fear and anxiety, afraid of Giant Sun Immortal Venerable picking on him. In the end, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable really did pick on him, giving him a mission. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's attitude was clear. Aren't you, Heavenly Lord Baizu, close with Fong Yuan? Then, be my middleman and transact Blood Path Immortal Gu. Use your actions and results to prove your sincerity to me, Longevity Heaven, and the entire righteous path of Northern Plains. Heavenly Lord Baizu felt wronged. When did he have a close relationship with Fong Yuan? It was clearly Chu Du who was linked to Fong Yuan. What did it have to do with him, Heavenly Lord Baizu? He had even fought Fong Yuan before. He wanted to prove his innocence, but Giant Sun Immortal Venerable simply did not talk about this, and only wanted him to receive the task. In fact, from Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's point of view, there were very few people who could take on this task. Longevity Heaven and the Huangjin tribe's Gu Immortals were out of the question because they represented Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. Heavenly Lord Baizu and Chu Du were different, however. Lord Fong Yuan, you are great love Immortal Venerable. Why do you need to make fun of a minor character like me? Heavenly Lord Baizu put himself in a low position. How can a wise hero like you not know of my situation? Fong Yuan laughed heartily. What Blood Path Immortal Gu do you want? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2252, Rank 9 Advanced Refinement Gu. Chapter 2252, Rank 9 Advanced Refinement Gu. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had instructed Heavenly Lord Baizu, if possible, try your best to obtain all of Fong Yuan's Blood Path Immortal Gu. But Heavenly Lord Baizu naturally could not say that right now, so he mentioned 10 Immortal Gu. Fong Yuan sneered when he received the message. Among these Immortal Gu, there were Bloodline, Blood Asset, Blood Skull, and Blood Qi. Fong Yuan possessed Bloodline Gu. This Immortal Gu had been Wu Clan's property. Back when Fong Yuan disguised as Wu Yi, Wu Clan had even used this Bloodline Gu to test Fong Yuan. Later, Fong Yuan scammed them and became its owner. It was not difficult for Giant Sun Immortal Venerable to know of this information. Fong Yuan also had Blood Asset Immortal Gu. This was a unique Gu created by Langya Land's spirit by combining some Blood Path Gu recipes he bought in Treasure Yellow Heaven. Fong Yuan smoothly obtained it from Langya sect. Currently, Blood Asset Immortal Gu was already raised from rank 6 to rank 8. It was one of the core Immortal Gu of 4 elements square regret blood refinement pool. As one of the 4 elements, it was extremely important. Blood Skull Immortal Gu was also with Fong Yuan. Fong Yuan originally possessed rank 4 Blood Skull Mortal Gu, and he had once used it to raise his aptitude. But the price of using Blood Skull Mortal Gu was very high. The Gu Master had to kill enough blood-related kin to raise their aptitude. In Qingmao Mountain, Fang Yuan slaughtered almost the whole of Guyu village to raise his aptitude. At Gu immortal level, the price of using Blood Skull Gu to raise aptitude rose explosively. To Gu immortals who acted alone, Blood Skull Gu was of little use. But to a force, Blood Skull Gu was extremely significant. Fang Yuan could not obtain benefits from Blood Skull Gu, but others could. The memories from the 500 years of his previous life told him that Blood Skull Immortal Gu's true inheritance was destroyed because of the changes in the world. So, before the battle in Crazed Demon Cave, when he helped many Gu immortals undergo immortal ascension, he used the natural inspiration to ask for a rather intact Blood Skull Immortal Gu recipe. Together with his deductions, he created a Blood Skull Immortal Gu recipe. Fang Yuan easily refined Blood Skull Immortal Gu with this Immortal Gu recipe. Like he expected, Blood Skull Immortal Gu's effect was still to raise aptitude. Because it was an Immortal Gu, it was effective on Gu immortals. The flaw was still the same requirement of killing blood-related kin. The higher the cultivation level of the Gu immortal, the larger the number of people they needed to kill, they even had to kill Gu immortal relatives. As for Blood Qi Immortal Gu, it was also in Fang Yuan's hands. Demon Immortal Qi Ju obtained Blood Qi Immortal Gu true inheritance, and had transacted the Immortal Gu recipe with Fang Yuan. After Demon Immortal Qi Ju died, Fang Yuan refined it. Currently, it was only at rank 6. Besides this, Fang Yuan also had other Blood Path Immortal Gu. For instance, Blood Trace Gu and Blood Oath Gu. These two Blood Path Immortal Gu were created by Eastern Sea's Blood Path Demonic Immortals Ding Yan and Ding Qi. One was used for investigation, and the other could achieve the effect of information path. Fang Yuan did not obtain these two Immortal Gu recipes from Ding Yan and Ding Qi, but he knew these two Immortal Gu were destroyed. Using natural inspiration, he asked for complete Immortal Gu recipes, and adding on his own deductions, he refined them. I will be honest with you, Bai Zhu. I have many Blood Path Immortal Gu. Fang Yuan said. Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu immediately praised, Lord Fang Yuan is well prepared and farsighted. As a refinement path venerable, you are the #1 expert in refinement path in history. I am in deep admiration. Fang Yuan chuckled, if you want to trade Immortal Gu, then exchange for it with the primordial domain extraction method. Before Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu looked for Fang Yuan, he was instructed by Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. Back then, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable told him about the primordial domain extraction method. In Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's mind, Fang Yuan desired a method to retrieve the primordial domain. This was quite clear, just look at Treasure Yellow Heaven, Fang Yuan's portion of the primordial domain was still stored there. Fang Yuan had not taken it out even now, it could be judged that he had no way to extract it. So, this method was the greatest bargaining chip to purchase the Blood Path Immortal Gu and could be made use of. As expected, Fang Yuan immediately mentioned the method to take out primordial domain. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable guessed correctly. Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu was excited inwardly, his trepidation also disappeared for the most part. He intentionally remained silent for a while before responding, the primordial domain extraction method. Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu pretended to be in a difficult position. Fang Yuan snorted coldly, don't try any tricks, since you have been sent by Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, didn't he instruct you? Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu's mind shook as he quickly corrected his attitude, Lord Fang Yuan is wise and mighty, please forgive my impudence. Fang Yuan gave a light nod, then used the primordial domain extraction method to purchase one Blood Path Immortal Gu. What? Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu was shaken. Fang Yuan was so absurd and greedy that he did not even dare to believe those words. Lord Fang Yuan, I think the primordial domain extraction method is extremely valuable and can definitely be exchanged for 10 Blood Path Immortal Gu. Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu said quickly. Fang Yuan sneered, you are actually so absurd and greedy, do you have no shame? Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu. Fang Yuan simply did not require any primordial domain extraction method. He was just teasing Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu while refining Advanced Refinement Gu. Inside Sovereign Immortal Aperture, tens of long rivers were flying in the sky. Every river was filled with all kinds of immortal materials. The river streams converged sometimes, and separated at other times. To refine Rank 9 Advanced Refinement Gu, Fang Yuan was mainly using the water refinement technique. Rank 8 Water Refinement Immortal Gu, one of the core Immortal Gu of 4-element square regret blood refinement pool, had been activated since the start of the refinement. Heavenly Lord Baizu came to his senses and started to raise the price. Lord Fang Yuan, you are clear of my sincerity. You also know that the primordial domain extraction method is extremely rare. This primordial domain extraction method is valuable to you, and it is what you need the most currently. Just 10 blood path immortal Gu are not of any significance to you. You are a refinement path venerable, isn't it a simple matter to refine any immortal Gu for you? Fang Yuan scoffed, his attitude turning cold quickly. Back then, I transacted primordial domain with Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, shouldn't he have handed the primordial domain extraction method as well? Now, I can't even take it out, I have yet to settle the accounts with him, but he is actually shameless enough to sell this thing. Could it be that I, a Grand Refinement Path Venerable, cannot deduce a rank 9 Refinement Path Killer move to handle the primordial domain as an immortal material and extract it? Heavenly Lord Baizu quickly said, Lord Fang Yuan, please quell your anger. Shut up. Fang Yuan continued, go tell Giant Sun this, I rushed to refine Blood Path Immortal Gu to intentionally make things difficult for him. He wants to dual cultivate Blood Path. I will continue to refine even more Blood Path Immortal Gu ahead of him. Unless he hands over the primordial domain extraction method to me and shows me his sincerity. Heavenly Lord Baizu did not dare to talk anymore. He heaved a sigh and contacted Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. After Giant Sun Immortal Venerable learned of the event, he immediately scolded, that kid Fang Yuan is really arrogant, actually daring to threaten me. Heavenly Lord Baizu, you are also trash, showing such a cowering attitude. Don't you know that you are negotiating with Fang Yuan as my representative? Heavenly Lord Baizu could only say, Lord Giant Sun, it is my mistake. I am not of Huang Jin bloodline and my ability is meager. Alright. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable interrupted him, it is because you are not of Huang Jin bloodline and have meager ability that I am giving these opportunities to you to temper yourself and increase your ability. Heavenly Lord Baizu. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable continued, continue to negotiate with Fang Yuan, the primordial domain extraction method. I won't hand it over for free. Tell Fang Yuan that in the contest of 3 venerables, his progress is the slowest and he has the least immortal essence. Tell him to assess the situation, cooperating with me will give him great benefits and fill up the gap. A wise person should be aware of their situation. Heavenly Lord Baizu asked, if so, Lord Giant Sun, how many Blood Path Immortal Gu should I exchange the primordial domain extraction method for? Giant Sun Immortal Venerable was silent for a bit. Hearing Heavenly Lord Baizu's words, Fang Yuan's plan was to use his Refinement Path Venerable Foundation to deduce a rank 9 killer move to extract primordial domain. Although this method was time-consuming, it was a feasible method indeed. Thereupon, the primordial domain extraction method could not be priced too high. But regarding the price, in Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's opinion, the higher the better. In the end, he chided Heavenly Lord Baizu, it will depend on your effort to see how many Blood Path Immortal Gu you can exchange for, and that will show your sincerity to Longevity Heaven. Go, I am watching your performance. Heavenly Lord Baizu felt stifled under the enormous pressure. He contacted Fang Yuan once again. Inside the Sovereign Immortal Aperture, some issues emerged in the handling of Refinement Path Immortal materials. Fang Yuan was carefully separating the rivers, while removing several of them. Heavenly Lord Baizu said with a smile, Lord Fang Yuan, there is really no way to offer the primordial domain extraction method as a gift. But since you feel 10 Blood Path Immortal Gu is too much, how about 8? Fang Yuan did not have the mood to talk with Heavenly Lord Baizu, he chided immediately, Junior Baizu, how can I, a Grand Venerable, haggle with you? You think I am a mortal merchant? Heavenly Lord Baizu cursed inwardly, while immediately saying, I won't dare to. Fang Yuan continued, let's put aside the matter of the primordial domain extraction method. Since you want to purchase Blood Path Immortal Gu, offer more of the primordial domain. This. Heavenly Lord Baizu wanted to say something but was interrupted by Fang Yuan. What are you standing dazedly for? Can you decide it? Why aren't you returning to ask for instructions? Heavenly Lord Baizu's anger was soaring. He, a mighty rank 8 Gu immortal, had been turned into a messenger. And the communicating parties happened to be venerables, he could not afford to offend them. He could only swallow this grievance and look for Giant Sun Immortal Venerable again. This is indeed Fang Yuan, a guy with infinite greed. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable laughed. He had a lot of the primordial domain. The primordial domain had little value to him, after all, he did not have the sovereign immortal body. Currently, it was already Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's limit to cultivate Luck Path and Blood Path. But Giant Sun Immortal Venerable could use the primordial domain to cultivate his subordinates. It is not impossible to transact them with Fang Yuan. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable pondered for a while before informing Heavenly Lord Baizu of this decision. Heavenly Lord Baizu contacted Fang Yuan once again. Lord Fang Yuan, Lord. He tried to contact many times, but Fang Yuan simply ignored him. Heavenly Lord Baizu. At this moment, inside the sovereign immortal aperture, tens of rivers had merged, raising countless ripples. A completely new advanced refinement Gu rose from the vast river. Advanced refinement had reached rank 9. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2253, Internal Worry, External Threat. Chapter 2253, Internal Worry, External Threat. Rank 9 Advanced Refinement Gu. Fang Yuan inspected carefully and found that the appearance was not much different from its previous rank 8 version. However, it had already undergone a qualitative change. This was Fang Yuan's second rank 9 Immortal Gu, it would provide a huge help to Fang Yuan. For Element Square Regret Blood Refinement Pool would also rise to become a rank 9 Immortal Gu house because of this. A rank 9 Immortal Gu house. Such Immortal Gu houses were few even in the whole history of humanity. Heavenly Court's Heaven Overseeing Tower was the most famous Gu house. Unfortunately, with the destruction of rank 9 Fate Gu, it could not be constructed again. Once I finish with the modifications, rank 9 Advanced Refinement Gu can be placed in 4 Element Square Regret Blood Refinement Pool once again, thereby allowing this Immortal Gu house to also experience a qualitative change. If there was a ranking list for Immortal Gu houses, it would be at first place for sure. Fang Yuan evaluated in his mind. If it was before, for Element Square Regret Blood Refinement Pool might be at the same ranking as Divine Emperor City, but as long as it became a true rank 9, it would suppress Divine Emperor City stably. After all, Divine Emperor City did not have a rank 9 Immortal Gu. Naturally, Fang Yuan needed to modify the previous 4 Element Square Regret Blood Refinement Pool, to make it suitable for rank 9 Advanced Refinement Immortal Gu. Fang Yuan was a Refinement Path Venerable, a Supreme Grandmaster in Refinement Path, it was not hard for him to modify this. Fang Yuan placed Advanced Refinement Immortal Gu aside and inspected himself. Just like he expected, because of the second rank 9 Immortal Gu, the fishing net-like Heaven Path Dao marks left on him by the killer move Obscured Heavenly Secret were being expended at almost double the speed of before. This showed that rank 9 Advanced Refinement Gu would provide an enormous help to Fang Yuan. It had a huge significance as it could influence many subsequent matters. It would be much easier for Fang Yuan to raise the rank of other rank 8 Immortal Gu from now on. Fortunately, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and Giant Sun Immortal Venerable have expended a lot of Immortal Essence, they also need to use their remaining Immortal Essence to refine natural Dao marks. They will not inspect frequently like before, this will greatly reduce the pressure on Obscured Heavenly Secret. Fang Yuan was aware that Obscured Heavenly Secret was already reaching its limits at this stage. If Fang Yuan wanted to refine a third rank 9 Immortal Gu, Obscured Heavenly Secret might help him conceal it during the early stage, but it would not be able to keep on concealing it at the mid-late stage. The effect of the killer move would dissipate completely. So, should I refine or not? If I am to refine the third rank 9 immortal Gu, which should I refine? Fang Yuan calmed down and analyzed the situation. He was now facing problems both internally and externally. The internal problem was the instability of the sovereign immortal aperture. Because of non-conflicting Dao marks, abnormal situations kept on occurring, causing the whole immortal aperture's ecology to be unstable. Because of the severe loss of subordinates in the battle in Crazed Demon Cave, there were few Gu immortals in the sovereign immortal aperture, and they were barely able to stabilize the situation. Secondly were calamities and tribulations. Even venerables needed to undergo tribulation. Among the three venerables, it was extremely difficult for Giant Sun Immortal Venerable and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable to change the time flow of their immortal aperture using time path methods because of conflicting Dao marks. Fang Yuan, however, sped his time flow twice when raising the rank of Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus. For this, his time path clone, He Chun Chio's time path foundation was almost entirely used up. For some time, Fang Yuan would not be able to change the sovereign immortal aperture's rate of time. If he did it again, it would lead to a series of changes, abnormal situations would erupt frequently and form into a terrifying tribulation that would cover the whole of the sovereign immortal aperture. This was because a time path killer move that could transform the whole sovereign immortal aperture had to be of an extremely high rank. To be effective, many time path Dao marks had to be engraved or modified. The sudden change in these time path Dao marks would create a chain reaction in the sovereign immortal aperture, leading to unpredictable changes and ultimately causing severe losses. If a loss occurred, it would have an enormous impact on him. Previously, Fang Yuan used landscape as before along with the year essence pools as recovery methods, but they could not be used now. Because the water of the river of time in the year essence pools had poured in just recently. The essence of this method were still the time path Dao marks. The abnormal situations that erupted because of the disorderly time path Dao marks would make the usage of any time path Dao marks aggravate the situation. To reduce the danger of this, I need to construct a time path Dao vein at least. The third internal problem was the sovereign immortal body's food. Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal body was created from sovereign immortal fetus Gu, it needed to feed on similarly ranked immortal apertures every set interval of time. Fang Yuan's cultivation was rank 9 now, so he needed to devour rank 9 immortal apertures. Looking at it from this point, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable were Fang Yuan's food. But the difficulty in this was enormous. Naturally, Fang Yuan was prepared. He schemed against the revived Paradise Earth in Crazed Demon Cave. Before Paradise Earth died, he was only a slight distance away from rank 9, his corpse still had a rank 8 immortal aperture. This rank 8 immortal aperture was at quasi-rank 9 level. Moreover, because Paradise Earth cultivated Heaven Path, this immortal aperture displayed a unique style, it could actually form into an independent entity that was extremely stable. Normally speaking, when a Gu immortal died, their immortal aperture would be unstable and fall on the world, opening their immortal aperture entrance to absorb a large amount of heaven and earth chi, to form either a blessed land or a grotto heaven. But Paradise Earth's quasi-rank 9 Heaven Path immortal aperture was special, it was stable. If it becomes hopeless in the future, I will split my soul to use Paradise Earth's body to create a Heaven Path clone. Then, let this clone undergo tribulation to become a Heaven Path Venerable, then devour its rank 9 immortal aperture. Paradise Earth's corpse was Fang Yuan's future food. Naturally, doing this was quite wasteful. If possible, Fang Yuan would prefer having a Heaven Path Venerable clone to assist him. The three main internal problems were sovereign immortal aperture, calamities and tribulations, and food. Besides these, Fang Yuan also had external problems. The external problems were the venerables. Fang Yuan had quietly refined 2 rank 9 immortal Gu, this was his greatest advantage now. But other venerables also had their advantages. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had refined the most Dao marks among the three venerables. In his territory, he could fight against two others and even gain an upper hand. The amplification from the outside world's Dao marks was too huge. And although Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was below Giant Sun Immortal Venerable in this aspect, the scale of her refined wisdom path Dao marks clearly surpassed Fang Yuan's. Moreover, Fang Yuan could guess Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was modifying her killer moves. Fang Yuan had almost no foundation in this aspect. He had two newly refined rank 9 Immortal Gu, but he had no complementary killer moves to use with them. Fang Yuan's own skill in deducing killer moves was far below Star Constellation Immortal Venerables. Were the three venerables to fight now, Fang Yuan's two rank 9 Immortal Gu could not provide direct help. There was another point of the two venerables that Fang Yuan envied. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had Longevity Heaven, while Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had Heavenly Court. The two venerables had their own headquarters. As long as they hid inside, they would receive a huge amplification and show the might of a Dao Lord. Even if the other two venerables allied sincerely, they would be without options. This gave them each an impenetrable fortress. Even if the situation were to crumble apart, as long as they had their headquarters, they would have a foothold and hope to counterattack. Fang Yuan, however, did not have it. The sovereign immortal aperture was unstable. How could he dare to use it as a battlefield? He really could not compare to the other two venerables in this aspect. After all, the two venerables had the accumulation of their past lives, while Fang Yuan was not even a rank 8 Gu immortal in the 500 years of his previous life. The main reason was because in Fang Yuan's previous 500 years, Fate Gu still existed. Heavens will made arrangements for him, and venerables had their own arrangements. Fang Yuan had no ability to go against them. So, once Fang Yuan lost, he would not have a place to take shelter. Fang Yuan thought for a long while, but could not come to a decision. There was a tough decision in front of him. He could choose to refine or not, both would have a great impact on his following actions. For instance, if he refined a rank 9 Immortal Gu that could be used directly in a fight, Fang Yuan might make a move to suppress the other venerables, consume their immortal essence and enlarge his immortal essence advantage. If he did not refine it, obscured heavenly secret could still hold on for some time. Using this chance, Fang Yuan could secretly accumulate even more advantages. It depended on Fang Yuan's choice. I don't have enough information. Fang Yuan heaved a deep sigh. Unlike the concluded battle in Crazed Demon Cave, venerables had the time to develop now. Their trump cards and methods had already changed. With the situation being unclear, it was not easy to make a decision. Another advantage of choosing a direct confrontation was that information could be forcefully obtained. But Fang Yuan felt the plan of suppressing two venerables at the same time was somewhat unreliable. They had their own territories, and if the two venerables were forced to join hands, could Fang Yuan handle it? As the contest of three venerables prolonged, the importance of information became even more prominent. Fang Yuan, however, was not specialized in this aspect. Information Path was most specialized in gathering information, and Fang Yuan never had a notable accomplishment in Information Path. This did not mean he did not have any progress in Information Path. Although Li Xiaobai had been entrusted with the hope of Information Path back then, he was just an idle chess piece now. Fang Yuan's current foundation was still effective in gathering information on ordinary Gu immortals or super forces. But his attainment in Information Path had never caught up with his development. Now that he was dealing with two venerables, this aspect appeared quite weak. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable inspected him, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable deduced him, but Fang Yuan had no way to make any counterattacks. Just as Fang Yuan was pondering deeply, the situation in Western Desert was changing rapidly. Wan Xiao, Wan Zihong, Sun Wang, as well as Wan Zihong, Zhou Xiong Xian and the rest arrived in Xiao clan's headquarters Blessed Land. I already know of your purpose in coming. Fang clan has gone mad and fallen into the demonic path, they are the shame of Western Desert's righteous path. My Xiao clan is willing to help one clan to recover your lost territory. Xiao Yi, who expressed the stance of Xiao clan clearly. One clan's group formed an alliance with Xiao clan smoothly. After a round of discussion, one clan was willing to cede resource points like Visualization Oasis, Perfume Flying Island, and Black-Yellow Earth Pool. Xiao clan would dispatch Xiao Yi Hu and several other Xiao clan experts. At the same time, Heavenly Court supported them with Immortal Essence Stones. Moreover, Heavenly Court guaranteed that if Heaven Refining Demon Venerable made a move, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable would definitely appear to obstruct him and protect Western Desert's righteous path forces. With Zhou Xiong Xian's and Wan Zi Hong's active participation, a righteous path alliance against Fong clan was forming rapidly. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2254, I Want to Sleep. Chapter 2254, I Want to Sleep. Inside the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. Mini Western Desert. Mermaid Immortal Yuzi's expression was pale, she panted while looking at the flying sand tunnel in front of her. It is finally set up. Yuzi mumbled. Rockman Gu Immortal Sanbai thanked her. Yuzi, you specialize in water path, setting up this kind of earth path resource point is truly hard on you. I could not have accomplished this by myself. Rockmen were most specialized in earth path. This was their racial talent. Originally, Sanbai and Guabai had agreed to finish the mission of setting up the earth path resource points. But not long ago, Fong Yuan suddenly sent a command and dispatched several Rockman Gu Immortals out of the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. Sanbai had no other options but to wait for others to team up with him. In the end, he teamed up with Yuzi. Although Yuzi specialized in water path, she was a rank 7 Gu Immortal after all. With Sanbai as the leader and Yuzi as the support, the two cooperated and spent close to 10 days to set up this resource point, finishing the mission. Seeing Sanbai expressing his gratitude, Yuzi gave a humble reply with a polite attitude. She had her own plans, in fact. Resource points like Flying Sand Tunnel can be used as earth vein nodes. Lord Fong Yuan's clone will personally come to set up an immortal formation in this resource point to change it into one of the earth vein nodes. This is the chance for me to meet Lord Fong Yuan. When Yuzi saw Fong Yuan's main body, her determination had been shaken. But she had gotten over it during this period of time. She did not have any extravagant hope of building a relationship with Fong Yuan's main body, so her attention was placed on Fong Yuan's clones. As long as she could connect to Fong Yuan, becoming one of his fiancés, the Merman race's status would immediately be stable and unshakable. Moreover, with this relationship, the Merman race would obtain powerful protection for their development. It was because she had this plot, Yuzi took on this mission and came to cooperate with Sanbai. A figure suddenly appeared in the horizon. Lord Wu Shuai is here. Sanbai showed a respectful expression. He is here. Wu Shuai is Fong Yuan's Dragonman clone. Yuzi's heartbeat accelerated as she encouraged herself inwardly. It was up to her to fight for the Merman race's future. Yuzi quickly checked her appearance. This time, she was wearing a rare and precious pearl necklace that constantly let out the light scent of sea wind. Her elaborate robe showed off her alluring figure, and the bright fish scales gave off a feeling of being unblemished. Yuzi nodded in satisfaction inwardly and encouraged herself. She looked around and had a light smile on her face as she tried her best to show a captivating expression. Sanbai was dumbstruck, immediately understanding the Mermaid Immortal's plan. When Wu Shuai arrived above Flying Sand Tunnel, Yuzi said softly, "Greetings to Lord Wu Shuai." This voice made Sanbai feel a chill. He also quickly paid his greetings. Wu Shuai glanced at them and nodded lightly before activating an investigative killer move to carefully inspect the Flying Sand Tunnel. After 3 rounds of inspection, Wu Shuai said contentedly, "Not bad, you have done a good job in setting up this Flying Sand Tunnel." After saying so, Wu Shuai started controlling Immortal Gu, and many immortal materials as he began to set up an immortal formation. Yuzi carefully sized Wu Shuai up. He was muscular and handsome, he had a tall nose bridge and firm lips. He looked like a peerless hero. His pupils were the color of amber, he had a pair of golden spiral horns, especially his pure gold dragon scales that shone dazzlingly, they suited the merfolk's sense of aesthetic beauty. Lord Feng Yuan really has peerless beauty. Yuzi admired inwardly. The beauty of Feng Yuan's main body was a kind of a shock to her, she had a feeling that she could only worship and look up to it, making her feel inferior. While Wu Shuai's heroic appearance moved her heart. After several hours, Wu Shuai finished setting up the immortal formation. Lord Wu Shuai really has amazing methods, you can set up the immortal formation with such little effort. Yuzi immediately praised. Wu Shuai smiled, I can't draw a conclusion yet, I need to see the actual effect. Move back and take care of your safety. The first activation of a newly constructed formation was rather dangerous. If the killer move were to fail, it would lead to a backlash. The immortal formation would break apart, and not only would it inflict a backlash on the Gu immortal, it would also cause a violent change in the surroundings. After all, the formation was closely connected to its surroundings. Especially a large formation over a resource point like this, once it broke apart, the violent change due to the massively concentrated Dao marks in the resource point would cause even higher damage. It was even more so in an environment like that of the sovereign immortal aperture. This was derived from experience. There were already several failures in the arrangement of immortal formations, which caused Dao marks to turn chaotic and the surroundings to change intensely. The loss of the resource points was a small matter, they even resulted in terrifying abnormal situations. Wu Shuai activated the formation carefully. He cultivated enslavement path after all. The reason he could set up the formation was because he shared attainment levels with the main body. So, if there was a mistake in the formation, it would be hard for Wu Shuai to deal with it with his methods as he was not a formation path Gu immortal. The immortal formation began to activate. Nothing unexpected happened for the moment. Wu Shuai's eyes were bright as torches without any signs of relaxing. After a few breaths of time, Yuzi finally could not endure it, she bravely approached Wu Shuai and said with a revering expression, Lord Wu Shuai, this immortal formation seems to have no issue. Wu Shuai did not look at her, he sniffed the air and frowned slightly, what is this smell? Yuzi was joyous and was just about to say shyly that this was the fragrance of her pearls. But right at this moment, there was an explosion. A large amount of stench qi gushed out of the flying sand tunnel. Around 10 li of the surroundings immediately became filled with a foul smell. Yuzi's expression was pale, she nearly vomited. The fragrance of her pearls was completely drowned, moreover, the pure white pearl necklace was dyed black. Wu Shuai laughed loudly, you don't need to worry, this is earth stench qi. The method of relocating this flying sand tunnel was not good enough, so these accumulated stench qi collected inside the tunnel. But it is alright now, this formation has discharged them, there are no hidden threats left. Congratulations, Lord Wu Shuai. Shi Sanbai quickly cheered. Yuzi also praised while enduring the stench, this is all due to Lord Wu Shuai's extraordinary methods. She approached him courageously once again, trying her hardest to attract Wu Shuai's gaze. But right at this time, sandy rocks shot out of the flying sand tunnel. These sandy rocks were filled with moisture, thus the stench they emitted was even worse than the earth stench qi. Lumps of sandy rocks flew to the air before falling down to the surrounding area with splattering sounds. Just like taking a dump. Yuzi looked at the sandy rocks that filled the sky, she felt despair. In this situation, no matter how beautiful she was, Wu Shuai would not be moved. After the sandy rocks fell for a while, it became normal again. A large amount of fine, dry sand grains shot out of the flying sand tunnel. The sand grains flew up to 100 or so feet high before sprinkling down on the ground like a drizzle. This was flying sand, it had a soft texture, it was an immortal material. Although it was only a rank 6 immortal material, the grains were in high quantities. Under the effect of the formation, the flying sand tunnel had become one of the earth vein nodes. Wu Shuai nodded contentedly and said in a joyous tone, now, the second ring of the earth vein is finished. Although we were also at second ring before the battle in Crazed Demon Cave, the nodes in that second ring were far fewer than the present scale. I am sure this world will keep getting better. Yuzi added in agreement. Wu Shuai glanced at her, then glanced at Shi Sanbai before flying away. Yuzi and Shi Sanbai quickly bade him farewell. Only when Wu Shuai had disappeared in the horizons, did Yuzi take back her gaze and sighed deeply, unable to hide her deep disappointment. Shi Sanbai laughed inwardly. He knew the mermaid's plan but did not look down on her. Mermen had already lived in the sovereign immortal aperture for some time now. This period of time was neither long nor short. The mermaid immortals were meticulous in their tasks, and almost all the Gu immortals knew of them. In Shi Sanbai's opinion, the weak relying on the strong to survive was a wise plan. He did not feel any hostility. After all, rock men were all male, they were simply not in the competition. So, Shi Sanbai feigned ignorance. I am going to continue setting up another Earth Path resource point. Fairy Yuzi, are you willing to continue teaming up with me? Shi Sanbai naturally hoped to have an Earth Path Gu immortal as an ally, but the manpower in the sovereign immortal aperture was truly in shortage right now. Yuzi had already worked with him, they had a certain level of tacit cooperation. Yuzi asked for the details, before refusing Shi Sanbai politely while showing a difficult expression. The next Earth Path resource point could not be treated as an Earth vein node. That meant Yuzi could not see Fang Yuan's clone, so she did not have any incentive to do it. Shi Sanbai understood, suggesting, from what I see, you should take a rest. Yuzi felt somewhat strange, a thought emerging in her mind. The Gu immortals in the sovereign immortal aperture actually rest. Yuzi had lived here for some time. She had already recognized what workaholics the Gu immortals here were. They did not know what rest was. This was the first time she heard the word rest from a Gu immortal here. Shi Sanbai laughed. This is my own experience. The mission board will never be empty. In fact, there are endless missions, but we are short on manpower. Most of the time, we might not be proficient in the mission, but we have no choice but to force ourselves to finish them. It is like how you cultivate water path and had to use much more effort to set up the Earth Path resource point. You aren't even able to display 20% of your strength, which will feel stifling. So, I suggest you take on some missions that allow you to display all your strength. That way, you can ease your mind. Yuzi nodded and expressed her thanks. But she was coughing out blood in her mind. Sure enough, the so-called rest was still to do missions. These Gu immortals seem to not know what true rest is. Sleep, I have not had any sleep for over 10 days. I have only slept 5 times since I came here, and each sleep was less than 4 hours. I really want to sleep until I wake up naturally. Why are so many Earth Path resource points pouring in recently? I am already disgusted from arranging these resource points to the point of vomiting. I really hope some water path resource points come next. When she thought of this, Yuzi almost wanted to slap herself from anger. What are you thinking? You still want more resource points? I hope there are no resource points ever. I hope there are fewer missions. I hope other Gu immortals finish them instead. Let me sleep, I just want to have a proper sleep. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2255, Painful Sale. Chapter 2255, Painful Sale. Western Desert, Fang Clan's Blessed Land Headquarters. Fang Clan's immortals were all present, their expressions were ashen. The atmosphere in the discussion hall was so heavy that it was suffocating. According to the information we obtained just earlier, one clan paid a visit to Qin Clan, and Qin Clan has already sent Qin Lang to take part in the battle. Qin Lang was a famous expert in Western Desert Gu immortal world. He had rank 7 cultivation and cultivated space path. His signature method was vortex sweep. Once the move was used, it could clear out an area of 10,000 li. That means, the alliance that one clan gathered in the expedition against our Fang Clan already includes Shao Clan, Qin Clan, Sun Clan, Shi Clan, Gong Clan, and Tang Clan. Sun Clan's representative is Sun Wang. He does not have high battle strength but is extremely proficient in investigative killer moves. Gong Clan sent Gong Jiaoche. You all know of his battle accomplishments. Shi Clan Gu Immortal Shi Kong is a recently famous expert. His defensive aspect is very powerful. Tang Clan Gu Immortal Tang Lan Ko is a time path Gu Immortal. She has all along been in charge of Tang Clan's tributary of the River of Time. Although she is not famous, since she was assigned such an important task by Tang clan, her strength is definitely out of the ordinary. The strongest support is still Xiao clan. Xiao clan sent Xiao Yi Hu. That's right, this person had a fortuitous encounter when he was young. He obtained a Gu immortal true inheritance and received a damaged immortal Gu house. Xiao Yi Hu relied on this to cultivate until he became a Gu immortal. He got Xiao clan's help to repair the immortal Gu house and changed his name to Xiao Yi Hu afterwards. According to rumors, his dark path immortal Gu house chamber pot, 1, is extremely strange and vicious. Although it is pocket-sized, it can forcefully absorb Gu immortals. If the Gu immortal cannot escape and gets trapped in this pot for a night, they will become a pile of piss and stool. The Fong clan immortals felt a huge pressure weighing on them as they continued to discuss. Western Desert super forces had 14 clans: Lin clan, Xiao clan, Tian clan, Fong clan, Dong clan, Wan clan, Sun clan, Mo clan, Tang clan, Qin clan, Shi clan, Gong clan, Sua Chiu clan, and Tuoba clan. If the mysterious and secluded Yi clan was also counted, it would be 15 clans. Fong clan was only one of them. There was no precise rankings of the strength of the super clans. Western Desert was not like Southern Border. Southern Border's Wu clan was the number one in strength, which had been tested over a long period of time and was publicly approved by Gu immortals. A super force's strength came from many aspects, for instance, Gu immortals, resources, immortal Gu houses, and so on. And these aspects also had strengths and weaknesses too. In an actual situation, super forces competed, allied, or antagonized each other through many ways. Thus, it was rather difficult to rank the super forces. Naturally, there was a vague consensus. For instance, in the Western Desert Gu immortal world, Xiao clan and Tian clan were normally thought of highly by Gu immortals, because during the past peaceful era, these two had the largest businesses. They had many Gu immortals and even had rank 8 Gu immortals leading them. Fong clan's strength was actually quite good. Fong clan had rank 8 Gu immortal Fong Gong, possessed 3 immortal Gu houses, and now had added an Earth Path immortal Gu house. If they had Divine Beam Palace, Fong clan could have immediately become the dominant force in Western Desert's Gu immortal world. Unfortunately, they did not succeed. Now, Fong clan was facing the alliance of other super forces. These super clans only needed to send 1 or 2 Gu immortals, and it would be enough to make Fong clan have a tough time. If just 1/3 of the super forces mobilized immortal Gu houses, it would be enough to surpass the scale of Fong clan's immortal Gu houses. Right now, Wan clan only had to contact the remaining super forces. The Fong clan Gu immortals already felt heavy weights pressing on their hearts. It felt like they were sitting on pins and needles. As the immortals discussed, Fong Ling said, "Everyone, please don't forget that there is still the most terrifying enemy that we need to face, Heavenly Court. Although the information says that Heavenly Court's Gu immortals clearly won't interfere in Western Desert's internal affairs, it is because of their guarantee that we are unable to use Great Love Immortal Venerable's authority, so these Western Desert super clans are free of their final apprehension. What worries me the most is that Heavenly Court sent 2 rank 8 Gu immortals. Among them, Wan Zihong was a famous demonic path expert in Western Desert's history. The moment Wan Zihong was mentioned, some Fong clan Gu immortals understood Fong Ling's meaning. Could it be that this Wan Zihong is related to Wan clan? Wan Zihong is a demonic immortal. There is no evidence of her being blood related to Wan clan. But even if there is no evidence, it can be forged. If Wan Zihong is believed to be a member of Wan clan, Heavenly Court will have justification to interfere in Western Desert's internal affairs. Despite this possibility being unlikely, we have to be prepared for it. Fong Ling's words made many nod their heads. Fong Gong was satisfied inwardly. He raised Fong Ling as his successor, and he saw him mature day by day. Especially during this recent period of time, his growth was obvious. At this time, Fong Yun said, "From what I see, our clan must seek Great Love Immortal Venerable's help. As long as this Lord helps, no matter how many Western Desert super clans come, they are of no worry. And only Great Love Immortal Venerable can contend against Heavenly Court Star Constellation Immortal Venerable." Fang Yun was Fang Dichang's successor, and unlike Fang Lang who simply expressed the issue, he directly spoke of his solution. During the period that Fang Dichang was captured, Fang Yun became the leader of Fang clan's Wisdom Path faction. He gained many experiences through this, and his influence in Fang clan had also increased by a lot. As for why he did not mention Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, it was because Fang clan had no connection to Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. In fact, even if they could contact him, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable would be suspicious. After all, the connection between Fang clan and Fang Yuan was quite deep. Great Love Immortal Venerable already sent several Rockman Gu Immortals, but they are only responsible for taking the resource points. We already sent a request to him, but Great Love Immortal Venerable doesn't seem to want to interfere. Fang Leng said with a frown. Fang clan had openly transacted some resources with Fang Yuan through Treasure Yellow Heaven. The other batch of resource points were secretly transacted with Fang Yuan. They naturally could not be passed through Treasure Yellow Heaven. The biggest flaw of Treasure Yellow Heaven was the openness. Every transaction would be revealed. Resource points were all counted and recorded, only by transacting them secretly could the information be concealed. The chance of getting Great Love Immortal Venerable to make a move is too low, and our clan cannot afford the cost as well. At this time, Fang Dichang finally spoke. He had been maintaining silence before. Besides him, Fang Gong and Fang Huasheng also did the same. These three were the true leaders of Fang clan. They would not easily express their thoughts. Moreover, they were also giving Fang Lang and Fang Yun a chance to temper themselves. Super forces were different from solitary Gu immortals. They usually prioritized the cultivation of later generations. The moment Fang Dichang spoke, others kept quiet. They were quietly watching Fang Dichang with clear trust in their gazes. Fang Dichang suddenly chuckled before continuing, "No need to be worried, I have already deduced that the possibility of Star Constellation Immortal Venerable making a move is extremely unlikely. In the confrontation between Venerables, they will try to avoid a direct confrontation with each other, and will not move personally as a consequence of our affairs. Don't think too highly of yourselves. In the eyes of Venerables, we are lowly like ants." Fang clan immortals listened quietly, nodding their heads with strange expressions. This might be the first time they were feeling joy at themselves being weak and ignored. Fang Dichang followed by saying, "But we still need to transact with Fang Yuan, we must rely on Fang Yuan, we must exchange for even more support from him." Fang Gong heard the meaning behind the words and frowned. "Ever since we occupied Wan clan's territories, we have already traded many of Wan clan's resource points with Fang Yuan, and exchanged for Immortal Gu and other resources. The Rockman Gu immortals sent by Fang Yuan are still busy moving away the resource points." Fang Dichang shook his head, "But it is still not enough, we need even more Immortal Gu houses. Once the war starts, we only have one rank 8, that is you. And the Wan Clan Alliance army will probably have several, even if they haven't appeared now. Once the battle turns for the worse, they will come to reinforce. So, we need Immortal Gu houses. Only then can our rank 6s and rank 7s be of use. Only then can they preserve their lives in the battle. They can advance and retreat to a certain extent with the Immortal Gu houses." The Fang clan immortals were silent. Fang Dichang heaved a sigh. "We all know that the current situation is extremely grim. Our Fang clan is facing all of Western Desert's righteous path. We cannot directly raise our cultivation, our Immortal Essence Stone reserves are also not sufficient, but Heavenly Court can keep on sending them Immortal Essence Stones. We must inflict an enormous loss to this wave of the Alliance army. Otherwise, even if we hold on through this danger, there will be a second and third Alliance army. How many waves can our Fang clan hold off? In fact, we will use up all our strength just to block this first wave." "This is a correct judgment," Fang Huasheng praised. Fang Dichang then mentioned transacting 3 big resource points, like Black Yellow Earth Pool. Fang clan's immortals were shaken. Black Yellow Earth Pool is a super resource point. It is no small matter. It is Wan clan's #1 resource point, it contains their pride. Are we going to sell it this easily? There will be considerable long-term benefits. Fong Dichang did not speak, only looking at Fong Gong. Fong Gong thought for a while before saying directly, "I agree, let's handle it this way." Fong Dichang smiled. At the crucial moment, Fong Gong did not disappoint him. He continued, "Other resource points can be discussed, but we must openly transact this black-yellow earth pool with Fong Yuan." "Oh. Good plan." Fong Yun immediately reacted, his eyes shining brightly. When they learned of Fong Clan's decision, Shi Gua Bai and the rest were shaken. Fong Clan has such a deep understanding of the situation. More importantly, we have no way to relocate this kind of super resource point. Shi Gua Bai and the other Rockman Gu immortals felt somewhat awkward. They only had rank 7 cultivation, and this super resource point was at rank 8 level. "Please don't worry," Alliance leader Great Love already expected this. Lu Wei-yin suddenly appeared and resolved the Rockman Gu immortals' awkwardness. Lu Wei-yin had joined the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance. He naturally came because he received Fong Yuan's order. His defense was extraordinary among pseudo-venerables, he could match the 2 Heavenly Court immortals. Moreover, he cultivated Earth Path, so it was of no issue for him to relocate Black-Yellow Earth Pool. Such a move of killing 2 birds with 1 stone made Lu Wei-yin the most suitable person to be sent to Western Desert. 1. Pronounced as Yihu in Chinese. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2256, Yuzi's Hair. Chapter 2256, Yuzi's Hair. Bai Ningbing's divine sense roamed in treasure yellow heaven. She looked at the distant primordial domain and also Fong Yuan's will above the primordial domain, feeling hesitant. Should I also transact with Fong Yuan? Over this period of time, Bai Ningbing had been cultivating in the depths of the earth trench, exploring it while facing the risk of death. Immemorial desolate beasts often ran wild in the depths of the earth, but there were all kinds of fortune hidden in the danger. Bai Ningbing had collected many immortal materials in this period of time, and also found many natural resource points, most of which were of Earth Path. It really is too difficult to refine immortal Gu. If I can borrow Fong Yuan's strength, it will definitely be a huge help. Bai Ningbing was feeling the urge to make such a move. According to her understanding of Fong Yuan, he would most likely agree to transact with her. But Bai Ningbing had her own misgivings. On one hand, she had no way to directly take away these Earth Path resources and put them in treasure yellow heaven. Bai Ningbing cultivated Ice and Snow Path, and also had aptitude in Enslavement Path because of her Dragonman identity. She had no suitable immortal Gu to dig out those Earth Path resource points. On the other hand, Bai Ningbing was worried that exposing the secret of rich resources in the underground would attract Fong Yuan's greed. Fong Yuan might not make a move personally, but sending a few of his subordinates would be enough to give trouble to Bai Ningbing. After all, Xianxia and Lu Wei-yin had also joined Fong Yuan. Right as Bai Ningbing was hesitating, an Earth Path resource point entered treasure yellow heaven. Following that, a treasure light shot out from this Earth Path resource point, forming an enormous pillar of light that seemed to touch the sky. Huh! This is a super resource point. Even Bai Ningbing, who had gone through a lot, felt shaken. At this moment, all the Gu immortal wills and divine senses in treasure yellow heaven were fluctuating intensely. Oh goodness, am I seeing this wrongly? A super resource point, an Earth Path super resource point. This kind of resource point is a must-have for any super force, but it is actually being sold. Simply unimaginable. Which wastrel will do such a thing? How will they live from now on? No matter which wastrel it is, the question is, who is this resource point being sold to? Who else can it be? It is undoubtedly Great Love Immortal Venerable. Sure enough, like many immortals expected, this Earth Path super resource point was taken by Fong Yuan's will. Soon, the resource point was taken from Treasure Yellow Heaven and moved into the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. An open transaction was finished. Treasure Yellow Heaven was still in commotion. Western Desert's Fong Clan transacted with Fong Yuan. Fong Clan sold this Earth Path Super Resource Point. It has been checked. This Super Resource Point is Black Yellow Earth Pool. It originally did not belong to Fong Clan. This is one clan's #1 resource point. So it was one clan's property. I understand now. One clan is paying a visit to every Western Desert Righteous Path Superforce to organize an anti-Fong alliance. Fong Clan is really vicious for selling this resource point. The 5 regions Gu immortals were all discussing this matter. One clan also soon learned of this. How can this be? Wan Zhuoqing's eyes reddened with hatred as he spoke through clenched teeth. Fong Clan is too hateful, too despicable. Wan Zhao's face was ashen. This was a classic situation of a person not feeling any heartache for selling something that was not theirs. Fong Clan did not use their own super resource points, but sold one clan's super resource point instead. They even chose to transact it openly. This plan was really vicious. Wan Haoguang also felt an extreme headache. Because this black-yellow earth pool was meant to be the payment to Xiao Clan. Xiao Clan sent several Gu immortal experts to take part in the anti-Fong alliance, and they would form a close alliance with one clan later on to reclaim the territories. But now, black-yellow earth pool was gone. Fong Clan sold it to Fong Yuan. Who was Fong Yuan? Great Love Immortal Venerable. Heaven Refining Demon Venerable. Would one clan dare to ask for black-yellow earth pool from Fong Yuan? Would Xiao Clan dare? They would not dare to do it even if they were given 10,000 guts. Sure enough, not long later, Xiao Yi who paid a visit. One clan, the situation has changed. We need to have another talk. Xiao Yi who said heavily. Wan Haoguang and the others' expressions did not look good. When they finished their discussion with Xiao Yi Hu, the expressions of one clan's immortals became even more unsightly. These greedy jackals. Wan Haoguang clenched his fists tightly. Wan Clan's and Xiao Clan's transaction contents were modified several times. Black-yellow earth pool was removed, and one clan had to add in several giant resource points. After Xiao Clan's benefits were preserved, Xiao Yi Hu left contentedly. One clan's immortals felt anger and hatred, but were helpless. What choice did they have? To make these righteous path forces participate in the anti-Fong alliance, our one clan must pay a corresponding price. Xiao Clan is the super force putting in the most effort, so we need to pay them even more. They are simply kicking a person when they are down. Sigh, among the entire righteous path forces, only Tang Clan has the most righteous demeanor. Yes, I did not notice it before. But in this moment of crisis, we can see the true character of others. Tang Clan asked for the lowest price. Although Tang Clan is not strong, once we retrieve our territory, we should have more dealings with Tang Clan. That is reasonable. Tang Clan is a true model of the righteous path. Just as one clan was discussing the matter, the rank 7-time path Gu immortal Tang Lan Ku, who was sent by Tang Clan, secretly contacted Fong Yuan. Reporting to Lord Xiao Yi who just paid a visit to Wan Clan. They had a secret discussion for a long time before he left. Looking at his expression, he seemed to be satisfied. Fong Yuan nodded. With just a slight deduction, he knew the truth. Looks like one clan ceded black-yellow earth pool to exchange for more support from Xiao Clan. The plan with Fong Clan has already produced results. Continue to stay hidden and probe for information. Yes, Lord. Inside the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. Because the time flow was much faster here, more than a day had already passed. An abnormal situation was occurring around an earth vein node. Dense yellow fog shrouded this earth vein node. Dart-like stones constantly flew out of the yellow fog and attacked the earth vein node. Yuzi accepted the task to defend the node. She was facing countless flying stones alone. Water vapor surrounded her body as her hands moved rapidly, raising giant waves that drowned the stones. After Yuzi bade farewell to Sher Sanbai, she accepted his suggestion and specially chose a task where she could vent her stress. Thus, she accepted this task. At the start, she was like an all-powerful being, her moves were majestic and grand. She released all her stress and felt refreshed. But this abnormal situation continued until now. Yuzi was not able to suppress it completely. Yuzi was feeling restless and stifled at this moment. How can I be so unlucky? I chose a random task, but it is actually so difficult. The amount of immortal essence I have expended over these days already amounts to a huge loss. Do I still have to take out some contribution points to ask for help? Just as Yuzi was hesitating, the yellow fog expanded suddenly, and the amount of flying stones doubled. Yuzi was caught unprepared and was unable to block them. She could only watch as many of the flying stones shot at the earth vein node. Damn it! Yuzi cursed in shock and anger. She took on this task to protect the earth vein node. But if the earth vein node was destroyed, her contribution points would be deducted. At the crucial moment, a figure suddenly appeared. He lightly waved his hand, illusory pink light specks scattered and flew into the yellow fog. This is a dream path killer move. Yuzi was stunned and joyous. The dream path killer move was clearly effective. The yellow fog quickly shrunk. The danger was eliminated instantly. Yuzi greets Lord Meng Qiu Zhen. Yuzi quickly bowed in greeting. She was extremely excited. Truly, fortune and misfortune existed together. She was actually able to see another main clone of Lord Feng Yuan because of this event. She was truly too fortunate. Are you alright? Meng Qiuzhen asked warmly. Yuzi raised her head and saw Meng Qiuzhen. He had a head full of long pink hair that looked dreamy and illusory. His shining gaze was extremely captivating. His smooth facial contours showed a smile at this moment, making Yuzi feel warm and heartened. So beautiful. Yuzi was stupefied as she thought to herself. Although Meng Qiuzhen was only at rank 6, being shown concern by him made Yuzi feel a sense of security. She then thought of her plan and immediately appeared more meek, covering her face as she wept softly. Many thanks for Lord Meng Qiuzhen's concern. I used all my strength to protect the earth vein node. But I had no way to protect the formation surrounding the earth vein node. Meng Qiuzhen nodded. I remember this formation. I personally set it up. According to the condition at that time, the formation base was buried underground. The formation structure was somewhat neglected, so a formation barrier was also constructed. Yes. Yuzi said in agreement. The formation barrier is too easily broken. I repaired it many times but it always broke immediately after. Meng Qiuzhen took a deep look at Yuzi. Suddenly, he took her in his arms and started touching her. He rubbed here and touched there. Yuzi was dazed, her whole body was stiff like a statue. How could this happen all of a sudden? The difference in personality among Lord Feng Yuan's clones was too big. If I had known this, I should have just gone to find Lord Meng Qiuzhen, right? Meng Qiuzhen is such a good name. 1. He is truly a dream come true. Intense happiness filled Yuzi's body. Her stiff body quickly relaxed as she shrunk into Meng Qiuzhen's embrace, and looked up at Meng Qiuzhen's face while blushing. But at the next moment, Meng Qiuzhen said calmly, there is an issue with your body, you have been contaminated. What? Yuzi was stunned. Meng Qiuzhen continued, your contamination is quite serious. The abnormal situation is the source of the contamination. In fact, it already had no strength to exist, but after contaminating you, you became the potential source and have been nurturing it. The more you resist, the stronger the abnormal situation will become. Is this true? Yuzi's eyes widened with an incredulous expression. You don't believe me? Meng Qiuzhen laughed and patted her shoulder. Look, you have hair now. Meng Qiuzhen said, I have triggered the abnormal Dao marks on your body. Yuzi almost fainted when she looked. She saw hair on her chest, nose, armpit and other private areas. In just a few breaths of time, this hair had already grown longer than an adult's palm. Meng Qiuzhen patted again. Look, you have grown mold. Yuzi's hair was previously standing straight, but now, it drooped down as greenish-white mold grew on it. An intense rotten stench assailed her nose. Tears flowed out of Yuzi's eyes. This was a huge deal to her. The merfolk aesthetic sense had nothing to do with hair. Merfolk liked scales, luster, and contours forming a streamlined body shape. Being hairy or furry was ugly. What should I do? Please save me, Lord Meng Qiuzhen. Yuzi pleaded. This emotion of desperation came straight from her heart. Meng Qiuzhen smiled. If you want me to help you, you have to spend contribution points. I am willing to pay anything and everything. Yuzi quickly said. Meng Qiuzhen shook his head slightly, but your contribution points are still not enough. Yuzi was getting dizzy from anxiety as she quickly explained the reason. That is because I exchanged for immortal Gu before. Let's do it like this then. Meng Qiuzhen first activated a dream path method. Pink light covered Yuzi, suppressing all the hair on her body and restoring her to her original state. Meng Qiuzhen said, I have temporarily restrained your abnormal Dao marks. Go to Star Collection City when you have gathered enough contribution points. You will be treated there. Go. Meng Qiuzhen then left Yuzi and began to repair the formation around the earth vein node. Yuzi gritted her teeth and bowed to bid her farewell. While flying, she activated a Gu worm to inspect the mission board. Why are there so many resource point arrangement missions again? Yuzi paled, a vague feeling of disgust emerging in her heart. But she had no other options. To heal herself, she could only grit her teeth and choose a mission. Arrange for the settlement of the Black-Yellow Earth Pool. This mission has the highest reward. 1. Remember it comes from Dream Reality Seeker. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2257, Saltwater Liver. Chapter 2257, Saltwater Liver. With a pale expression and heavy eye bags, Yuzi entered Star Collection City in a daze. After working hard for over 10 days without resting, she finally finished arranging Black-Yellow Earth Pool with the help of 2 other Gu immortals. Isn't this fair, Yuzi? I heard you were in charge of arranging the Black-Yellow Earth Pool. A Gu immortal greeted Yuzi. Yuzi quickly raised her spirit and responded. Your luck is really good. This mission rewards a lot of contribution points. I was held up with another task at that time, otherwise, would have also taken this mission. Another Gu immortal said to Yuzi. Yuzi smiled, nodding towards the Gu immortal. The 2 immortals quickly parted after that. This was the style of the Gu immortals of the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. They were always in a hurry, making use of every second. Your condition does not look good. Go to Liver Life Hall immediately. Xianxia came across Yuzi and said with concern. You are also here. Yuzi felt much more at ease when she saw a Gu immortal of her kin. Xianxia nodded. I just came out of Liver Life Hall. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture added Black-Yellow Earth Pool. There really are a lot of super resource points here. Yuzi said in agreement. From what I know, there are Rolling Fall Cliff, Triple Sacred Mountain, Divine Needle Valley, Frost Dragon Pond, Pin Tree Snowfield, Water Spider Sea, and Heavenly Crystal Storage Pool. Now, there is this Black-Yellow Earth Pool. There must definitely be others as well. Before Xianxia and Yuzi entered the Sovereign Immortal Aperture, they were leaders of the Merman Imperial Court, and were aware of the value of super resource points. Normally speaking, resource points were divided into several grades. Tiny resource points, small-sized resource points, and mid-sized resource points produced rank 1 to rank 5 cultivation resources. Large resource points could stably produce rank 6 resources, and occasionally rank 7 resources. Giant resource points could stably produce rank 7 resources. Super resource points were at rank 8 level, and the pinnacle resource points were those secluded domains of heaven and earth. A super resource point could lead to an all-out contest between super forces, and it could even result in casualties. The 5 regions' super forces were in possession of super resource points. The richer ones had more than 10, while the poorer ones had at least 3 or 4. Heavenly Court and Longevity Heaven were naturally not counted among these super forces. Strictly speaking, Heavenly Court and Longevity Heaven should be considered ultimate forces. Right now, Fong Yuan's force could also be considered an ultimate force. There were over 10 super resource points in the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. It was just that the Mermaid Immortals had not been here for a long time, so they did not come into contact with the other resources. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture's foundation has increased again. This is a good thing. But I am worried about the abnormal situations happening more often. Lian Xian was happy but also worried. Resource points contained dense amount of Dao marks. After they were shifted into the Sovereign Immortal Aperture, the Immortal Aperture's Dao marks would naturally increase. By now, the Mermaid Immortals had already realized the source of the abnormal situations. Lian Xian was worried, Yuzi was too. She said in a quiet voice, Master sent several Gu Immortals outside. There is a shortage of manpower in the Sovereign Immortal Aperture again. Over this period of time, missions have been constantly increasing on the mission board. The Gu Immortals' mission completion speed cannot match the speed of the addition of new missions. Sigh, it will be great if Master can bring in more Gu Immortals. Lian Xian nodded and said, I also hope for more companions. But rashly bringing in the 5 regions Gu Immortals is not appropriate. On one hand, we will have to remove the suspicion of insiders and spies. On the other hand, there is racial equality here. If those self-righteous human Gu Immortals come in, they might destroy the harmony here. Master may also have such misgivings. The two talked while walking towards Liver Life Hall. Yuzi looked at the Liver Life Hall and suddenly understood. I heard Liver Life Hall was only a Liver Life formation before. Master worked hard to modify it into an immortal Gu house. It was really a wise move. The immortal formation was closely connected to its surroundings, but Immortal Gu House was an independent body. Abnormal situations occurred frequently in the Sovereign Immortal Aperture, and the immortal formations of various locations suffered, but Immortal Gu houses were not disturbed. Yuzi sighed, I am somewhat worried. Don't you think Master's idea for the development of the aperture is somewhat radical? The current Sovereign Immortal Aperture is walking on a thin rope. We have to use all our effort to maintain this fragile balance. Even so, we are slowly slipping down the abyss of failure. Lian Xian squinted her eyes. Maybe this nature is one of the reasons for Master's legendary rise. The current Sovereign Immortal Aperture is truly like a glutton. It already is full to the point of indigestion, but is still eating regardless. By constructing Dao veins everywhere, we are only treating the symptoms but not the root cause. If we don't solve the fundamental issues, abnormal situations will still continue. Yuzi shook her head slightly. I saw Lord Wu Shuai and Lord Meng Qiuzhen. Both are peerlessly beautiful. I don't believe such incredible existences are not aware of the root issue. We are only minor characters, how can we estimate Master's thoughts? Yes. This root issue is not our concern. Lian Xian patted Yuzi's arm. Alright, Yuzi, the Liver Life Hall is in front. I won't accompany you, I still have a mission to do. Yuzi parted with Lian Xian as well. She did not tell her abnormal state to Lian Xian. Yuzi entered Liver Life Hall with familiarity. Yuzi had visited this mysterious immortal Gu house many times, so she was not a stranger to it. She thought this use would also go smoothly, but how could she have expected an accident to happen? Boom! Liver Life Hall shook as the nearby Gu Immortals were alerted. Looking at this, it seems someone's liver exploded again. Hee, this is a terrible feeling for them. No matter who it is, they are much luckier than me. The healing hall was constructed not long ago. By the time Yuzi woke up, she found she was no longer in the Liver Life Hall. She was lying on a large porcelain plate with dazzling white light filling her surroundings. After she adapted to this light with difficulty, she saw a will floating in the air and watching her. This will took a form. It was in the appearance of Fong Yuan's main body. Yuzi tried to stand up to greet him, but was stopped by Fong Yuan's will. Don't move carelessly, your liver exploded, your injuries are not light. Also, some Dao marks are still hiding in your body. Although they were suppressed temporarily by dream path methods, they are showing signs of erupting again. Yuzi immediately panicked. She did not want to grow moldy hair in front of Fang Yuan's will. Naturally, her current situation was extremely pitiful. After her liver exploded, her stomach burst open, half of her rib bones were sent flying, and all her organs were injured. Yuzi looked at Fang Yuan's will, immediately saying, "Please save me, master. I already have enough contribution points." Fang Yuan's will nodded. "Your contribution points are enough. I have several treatment plans here for you. First is to use a time path killer move to restore you back to your previous state. Second is to transplant an ancient desolate beast's liver into you, and use a transformation path method to merge the liver with your body. Third is to use a refinement path method. We will get rid of your abnormal Dao marks first, then refine a brand new liver. And finally, the fourth option is my personal recommendation. This is an immortal killer move called saltwater liver. After you cultivate it, you can create a new liver. This liver not only has water path Dao marks, but also food path Dao marks. Using this liver, you can dual cultivate food path. Compared to an ordinary Gu immortal's liver, saltwater liver can bear the support of liver life hull much longer and last for many more uses. Moreover, if you fall into a predicament and have no way out, and are in shortage of food, you can eat this liver to satisfy your hunger. The fifth method is. Fang Yuan's will continue to describe over 10 treatment plans. After Yuzi listened to them attentively, she asked about the price. She found the most stable and safest method was the first time path plan. But because she cultivated water path, the time path killer move's effect would not be obvious. She would have to pay a higher price for an obvious effect. Thus, the performance cost ratio of the first plan was not high. The most effective treatment was the second plan. If Yuzi could afford the price, she could use an immemorial desolate beast's liver to transplant into her body. The lowest price was the refinement path plan, that was also the third plan. The highest performance cost ratio plan was the fourth plan. Saltwater liver. Yuzi considered for a while before nodding. "I choose this." While Yuzi was being treated, looking over in Western Desert, Xiao Yi gazed at Wan Haoguang with a frown. Muddy beach is no more, perfume flying island is also no more. They were openly sold to heaven refining demon venerable by Fang clan. Our contract needs to be changed. Wan Haoguang showed a painful expression. "Xiao Yi, you have already been here 5 times to talk over the contract. Is it appropriate to change it at will? We should follow my previous suggestion. We should quickly attack Fang clan and drive them away. Won't it be much easier to change the contract based on the actual state?" Xiao Yi shook his head, sighing deeply. "Wan Haoguang, that is very risky. Your clan's resource points are almost all sold by Fang clan. Even if we succeed in attacking Fang clan, can you bring out enough remuneration? You have contacted all the super forces of Western Desert. Looking at the price you paid to invite these people to join the alliance, are you still able to satisfy my Xiao clan first?" Wan Haoguang felt an extreme headache. He was about to appease Xiao Yi when suddenly, heaven and earth shook, thunderous explosions occurred. Their gathering point was ambushed. It is Fang clan. Such guts, we haven't even gone to attack them, yet they dare to send themselves to death. Fight! The anti-Fang alliance army reacted and attacked furiously. The Wan clan Gu immortals were extremely angry. It was this bunch of shameless scoundrels who sold off their resource points. They had to modify the contracts almost every day. This caused them a great headache. Fang clan mobilized 3 immortal Gu houses this time. The Fang clan immortals were also extremely angry. You guys! You forced our Fang clan to sell all those resource points. Bam bam bam. Both sides were so furious that the moment they started the battle, a huge commotion could be heard, rocks cracked and rubble flew. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2258, Battle against Fang clan. Chapter 2258, Battle against Fong Clan. The thunderous explosions rang for a while as the killer moves collided with each other. Even the aftershock was fatal. Fong Clan's attack was too sudden, surpassing Anti-Fong Alliance's expectations. What made the Anti-Fong Alliance regret was that they were not stationed at a resource point, but in an ordinary desert. They were about to make a large-scale move against Fong Clan, but they had to discuss their payment before the battle. Fong Dichang's plan was very effective. They did open transactions with Fong Yuan repeatedly, which led to internal instability in the Anti-Fong Alliance, greatly postponing their official expedition. And this sudden attack was also Fong Dichang's proposition. Fong Dichang. Wan Xiao gritted his teeth. Not only him, the other immortals of the alliance also experienced Fong Dichang's strength. Inside Chicken Dog Coop, Fong Dichang's expression was cold and his gaze was sharp. The situation of the battlefield was reflected in his mind. He shouted, "Release all the ancient desolate beasts, not to kill, but to scatter the enemies." At the next moment, Chicken Dog Coop let out a dazzling light. Dozens of chicken and ancient desolate beast dogs formed into two groups that rushed ahead. Wan Hao Guang was furious as he understood Fong Clan's plan. He shouted madly, "Don't scatter, whoever is alone may lose their life." Fong Clan immortals were curled up in their 3 immortal Gu houses, while the Alliance Gu immortals were flying in the sky. These Gu immortals were pale, who could use their bodies to block these ancient desolate beasts. Even if they used killer moves, they would not able to exterminate them instantly. Once they started fighting and dodging, their already loose formation would immediately break, and Fong Clan would succeed. Right at this time, an Alliance Gu immortal suddenly laughed as his appearance started changing. "It is time for me to make a move." He was dressed in a blue robe, his laughter was unpleasant and noisy, which left a deep impression on people. "You are not Tian Fong Mang, you are Tian De Ji." The other Alliance Gu immortals exclaimed in surprise and joy. Tian De Ji had rank 7 cultivation and cultivated enslavement path. He was not a lineal descendant of Tian clan, he had been a lowly young boy with no cultivation aptitude whose only fate was to become a farmer. But one time, as he was taking care of a field, he accidentally dug out a Gu immortal inheritance. It was this inheritance that completely changed his life. He cultivated secretly at first, but was discovered soon after, and had no choice but to offer the Gu immortal inheritance to Tian clan. The Gu immortal in charge of the matter at that time, Tian Gang Hui, was an honest person. He did not covet this inheritance, instead protecting Tian De Ji from then on. Tian De Ji inherited this special inheritance that could only enslave chickens, but its effect was outstanding. At the next moment, Tian De Ji made a move, activating a killer move that actually caused all the ancient desolate beast chickens released by Fong Clan to defect. These ancient desolate beasts immediately attacked the ancient desolate beast dogs behind them. In an instant, chickens and dogs fought, causing sand to fill the battlefield. The Anti-Fong Alliance's crisis was immediately resolved. Wan Xiao, Wan Hao Guang, Sun Wang, and the rest made their moves. Wind path, light path, fire path, and other paths' killer moves erupted in succession, forming 3 waves of attacks that charged towards Chicken Dog Coop. Fong Clan had schemes, Wan Clan also had prepared some. Tian De Ji's identity was a secret that was exposed only now. This was the result of Wan Clan specially discussing it with Tian Clan. Although the alliance was delayed by Fong Clan, Wan Clan did not waste the time. While the contract discussions were being talked, Wan Clan actively made Gu immortals train in group combat. The Alliance Gu immortals did not have much coordination with each other. It was no issue to fight individual fights, but group battle was their greatest weakness. After all, Dao marks of different paths conflicted with each other. To target this weakness, under Heavenly Court's unending supply of immortal essence stones, the Alliance immortals cultivated painstakingly, forming an initial stage of group combat coordination. Fang Huasheng. Fang Dichang retreated with Chicken Dog Coop while shouting for reinforcement. Although the ancient desolate beast chickens revolted, Chicken Dog Coop could still control ancient desolate beast dogs. This immortal Gu house was important. If it was attacked and lost a crucial immortal Gu, it would be really bad. If the ancient desolate beast dogs stopped listening to commands, they would be defeated quickly. Fang Huasheng was controlling Fallen Flower Hall. He immediately rushed over after getting the message. Immortal killer move, Mirror Flower. The surface of Fallen Flower Hall immediately let out a wave of light. The light was pure white. It first exited violently before being restrained suddenly, turning into a huge flower bud on the roof of the hall. The flower bud quickly bloomed. The petals were like mirrors, reflecting light. As it bloomed, the flower petals collided with one another, emitting a crisp sound. After the flower bud bloomed completely, it was even larger than the roof of Fallen Flower Hall, being extremely beautiful. The mirror flower formed in a blink of an eye, and let out a strong suction force. Be it Wan Hao Guang, Wan Xiao, or Sun Wang's killer moves, most of them was absorbed by the mirror flower. But there was still a small number of killer moves left that made Fallen Flower Hall shake endlessly. The mirror flower's petals broke into pieces, and the remaining petals closed again, turning into a flower bud. I am returning them to you. Fang Huasheng shouted. The mirror flower bud bloomed again, releasing the absorbed killer moves back at the enemies. The flower bud disappeared completely. The released killer moves forced Wan Hao Guang and the rest to retreat again and again. They could only activate their methods to block arduously. Fang Huasheng saw that three immortals were in a miserable state. He knew the battle opportunity had appeared. He was just about to attack them, when suddenly a fire path immortal Gu house appeared in the enemy formation. This immortal Gu house was like a giant wheel. After it took in Dong clan's two Gu immortals Dong Zhu and Gong Ming, it started rolling. Dong clan's immortal Gu house Red River Wheel. Inside Red River Wheel, Dong Ming shouted in hatred, Fang clan, you previously used the theft path immortal Gu house to raid my Dong clan's resource point, destroying my clan's treasure moon oasis. This debt will be paid today. With a crushing momentum, Red River Wheel whipped up an intense flame as it collided with Fallen Flower Hall. Bam! Fallen Flower Hall shook intensely as it retreated quickly. Where are you going? The Gu immortals inside Red River Wheel gave chase. Not long later, Fallen Flower Hall fell into a disadvantage as flames stuck to it. Red River Wheel could counter the wood path immortal Gu house Fallen Flower Hall to a certain extent. Since there is fire, this will be easy. Inside the Alliance Army formation, Gong Jiao Che smiled as he used a killer move. Boom! At the next moment, the flames on Fallen Flower Hall intensified, turning into a huge fire. Damn it! Fang Huasheng gritted his teeth as he controlled Fallen Flower Hall to defend, but could not turn the situation around in a short period of time. The other Fang clan Gu immortals in Fallen Flower Hall were doing their best to save Fallen Flower Hall's Gu worms. But Red River Wheel's fire continued to infiltrate the immortal Gu house, spreading towards the core immortal Gu. Fang Gong wanted to go reinforce with Inquiry Dock. But another rank 7 immortal Gu house blocked its path firmly. It was Wan clan's time path immortal Gu house, Myriad Age Building. Soon after, Chicken Dog Coop also got attacked by many Gu immortals. Fang Dichang heaved a deep sigh, saying inwardly, Wan clan really prepared sufficiently this time. Be it the matter of concealing the identity of Tian De Ji, Red River Will that restrained Fallen Flower Hall, or Myriad Age Building that firmly held back Inquiry Dock, it all proved that Wan clan was well prepared. These three immortal Gu houses of Fang clan were not a secret. Since this anti-Fang alliance included over 10 super forces, it was not hard to find methods that could restrain Fang clan. The moment the ancient desolate beast chickens were made to revolt, Fang Dichang knew the situation was turning bad. When Anti-Fong Alliance stabilized themselves and reacted, Fong clan immediately felt suppressed. The advantage of their sudden attack was already gone. The situation was urgent, but the Fong clan immortals were still not panicked and held ample confidence. Earth Shuttle was mobilized. Fong Chen and Fong Enlei flew out and entered Earth Shuttle. It was this immortal Gu house that destroyed my tall pine oasis formation base. Wan Xiao was furious. He immediately changed his target, hurling the long-prepared berserk wind blades towards Earth Shuttle. Earth Shuttle did not dodge as it endured these berserk wind blades and charged towards the enemy formation. Wherever it went, the Alliance Gu immortals evaded in fright. Who would dare to use their body to collide with a rank 7 immortal Gu house? Wan Zhao's pupils shrunk when he saw this. Every aspect of Earth Shuttle immortal Gu house was strengthened. Last time, when it attacked Tall Pine Oasis, its defense was very weak. But it was completely different now. However, dealing with this Earth Path immortal Gu house was also within Wan clan's plans. Even the matter of it being stronger now did not surpass Wan clan's expectations. At the crucial moment, Mo Sha Ta stood up and activated a killer move, blocking Earth Shuttle. A dense layer of sand accumulated on Earth Shuttle, reducing its speed sharply. Boom! Earth Shuttle shook, destroying the sand layer. Without the restraint, it directly charged at Mo Sha Ta. Mo Sha Ta was pale with fright as he turned around and ran. The Alliance's formation began to turn chaotic. Xiao Yi who gritted his teeth as he had no choice but to make a move in advance. He held chamber pot which aimed at Earth Shuttle from afar, letting out a pitch-black lump of light. Don't even think of it. Fong Huaxing shouted. Fallen Flower Hall moved once again. Immortal Killer Move, Fleeting Bloom. The pitch-black light lump was really fast, but it got struck by Fleeting Bloom, slowing down rapidly. Earth Shuttle easily evaded it as Xiao Yi who glared in anger. You still have the time to care about others. Tuoba Ching Feng made his move. He was a famous Gu immortal in Western Desert's Gu immortal world, and was extremely proficient in support methods. This was a wind path support killer move. After it covered Fallen Flower Hall, the huge fire burned even hotter and covered over half of Fallen Flower Hall. Fong Huaxing's expression turned heavy. He had just gotten rid of Earth Shuttle's obstacle, but it made Fallen Flower Hall situation even more dangerous. Do I reinforce Fallen Flower Hall? Fong Di Chang scanned the whole battlefield. Soon his eyes shrunk when he saw a figure. No, I need to rescue Inquiry Doc first. Since the battle started, Zhuqiu Xianxia had been staying at the back of the Alliance army as he prepared his killer move. At this time, the killer move's aura was already close to complete. Fong clan possessed Roof Tile Breaker killer move that could restrain immortal Gu houses. Zhuqiu also had a similar killer move. It was called State of Disunity, which was created by Zhuqiu Xianxia. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2259, Like a Tiger, Fong Gong. Chapter 2259, Like a Tiger, Fong Gong. State of Disunity killer move was similar to Roof Tile Breaker. They both countered immortal Gu houses. No doubt, this was a killer weapon of the Anti-Fong Alliance to deal with Fong clan. Fong clan's proficiency lied in immortal Gu houses. Zhuqiu Xianxia who possessed State of Disunity was the key person to suppress Fong clan. We can't let him activate it. Fong Di Chang understood Zhuqiu Xianxia's threat, immediately commanding, Fong Ji and Fong Dongxi, go. Two Fong clan rank 7 Gu immortals flew out of Chicken Dog Coop. They quickly took out an immortal Gu house. This immortal Gu house had 2 floors. It was a short building. As the immortal Gu house was activated, the roof released dense smoke. Rank 7 immortal Gu house, smoke wave building. A completely new immortal Gu house appeared. Fong clan sold so many resource points. As expected, they gathered enough resources from Heaven Refining Demon Venerable to construct another immortal Gu house. The Alliance Immortals were shaken. According to previous discussion, Shi Kong went forward. He anxiously approached Smoke Wave Building and started probing it. After all, he was most proficient in defense. Smoke Wave Building was not fast, but the dense smoke on the roof of the building kept on gushing out. Soon, it filled most of the battlefield, attempting to engulf Xianxia. The Alliance Immortals did not understand the power of the smoke, so they retreated carefully. Immortal Killer Move, Vortex Sweep. Qin Lang activated his proudest method. Immediately, most of the smoke dissipated, and the surroundings became clear again. Humph. Fong Dichang left a sentence while personally moving out. Fong Leng, Fong Yun, look after Chicken Dog Co-op. Fong Dichang flew out. He took out an Immortal Gu house before he entered it. Another rank 7 Immortal Gu house. The Anti-Fong Alliance was in an uproar. Fong Clan had 3 new Immortal Gu houses, moreover they were all at rank 7. How many things did Heaven Refining Demon Venerable give Fong Clan? The 3rd Immortal Gu house was Thought Expelling Pavilion. It was a Wisdom Path Immortal Gu house that complemented Fong Dichang. Fong Dichang activated the Immortal Gu house's method and targeted Xianxia. Xianxia had already succeeded in approaching closer, but his thoughts suddenly flew out of his mind and circled around his body. The Gu worms in his immortal aperture immediately fell into chaos. Xianxia's killer move failed to activate. With a cough, he spat out blood and suffered heavy injuries from the backlash. Zhuoba Qingfeng and Gong Jiaoche saw the situation turning for the worse. They quickly gave up on encircling Fallen Flower Hall. The former went to save Xianxia, and the latter attacked Thought Expelling Pavilion from afar. Thought Expelling Pavilion endured Gong Jiaoche's Fire Path killer move and activated its method again. Tang Lan Ku gasped as she fell down from the sky. I can't stop it. Shi Kong was covered in black smoke. He retreated with a shout. The dense black smoke emitted by Smoke Wave Building made it extremely difficult for him to defend. This was already his limit. Right at this time, a yellow meteor streaked across the battlefield and collided with Shi Kong. It was Earth Shuttle. Shi Kang's pupils shrunk as the intense threat of death assaulted his body and mind. Boom. At the crucial moment, Lin Shutong flew over and sacrificed himself to collide into Earth Shuttle. From the side, forcefully changing its route. Shi Kong almost brushed past Earth Shuttle, surviving luckily. His battle intent was mostly gone as he retreated rapidly. The enemies are in chaos. Fong Dichang saw this, and activated Thought Expelling Pavilion, targeting Tian De Ji. Tian De Ji was startled and immediately released ancient desolate chickens from his immortal aperture to protect him. But who could have imagined that Fong Dichang was only bluffing, immediately targeting its attack towards Sun Wang. Sun Clan Gu Immortals were most conservative. The moment Thought Expelling Pavilion showed such movement, Sun Wang immediately ran away with an astonishing speed. Wan Clan Gu Immortals looked extremely unsightly. Fong Dichang was indeed worthy of being a Wisdom Path Gu Immortal. He was familiar with people's nature. He only used Thought Expelling Pavilion a few times and made use of its threat to gain such battle accomplishments. First Supreme Elder, this is the time for our Fong Clan to claim victory. Fong Dichang's voice was slightly excited. Inside Inquiry Dock, Fong Gong was already impatient from waiting. When he heard Fong Dichang's call, he laughed heartily. He gave the control of Inquiry Dock to other Fong Clan Gu Immortals and flew out like a meteor. Fong Gong collided with Myriad Age Building, the whole building almost collapsed. Immortal Killer Move, Roof Tile Breaker. Fong Gong's palm shadows flew, raising storm-like attacks. Myriad Age Building's defensive killer moves also could not block Roof Tile Breaker. It started to crumble rapidly. Good. Xiao Yihu's eyes lit up. He finally saw an enemy Gu Immortal leaving the protection of their Immortal Gu house. This was the time for Chamber Pot to shine. But just as he was about to make a move, Earth Shuttle came crashing over. Xiao Yihu cursed. He could only retreat to protect himself. Myriad Age Building was forced to activate its strongest defensive method, which rapidly extracted Fang Gong's lifespan. Fang Gong sneered, decisively retreating. He had achieved his target by forcing out this method of Myriad Age Building. Once this method of Myriad Age Building activated, it could only stop after at least 2 hours. The surrounding Alliance Gu immortals retreated away from Myriad Age Building. The Anti-Fang Alliance's formation was already in complete disorder. Fang Gong left Myriad Age Building and charged towards Red River Wheel. "Didn't you want revenge? Then come at me," Fang Gong shouted. Roof Tile Breaker Killer move activated once again. Red River Wheel retreated rapidly while burning flames closed in on Fang Gong. Fang Gong did not dodge, sticking to Red River Wheel amidst the burning flames. Dong Ming screamed, "Fang Gong, you've gone too far." He activated Red River Wheel and collided with Fang Gong. Fang Gong's eyes shone. He did not evade, instead charging right towards Red River Wheel. The two collided as Red River Wheel was thrown backwards. Fang Gong used the chance to give chase. Dong Ming's expression was deathly pale. Is this the strength of a rank 8 strength path Gu immortal? Dong Zhu kept silent as he let out molten flame birds. Fang Gong kicked and punched, smashing the molten flame birds to a pulp. In just 10 or so breaths of time, Red River Wheel was beaten back again and again. Its surface crumbled and looked like it was in a miserable state. "Fang Gong, don't be cocky." With the help of other allies, Xiaoyi who finally had a chance to attack. One clan had paid a high price to request his assistance. Why? It was to deal with Fang Gong. Immortal Gu House Chamber Pot was pocket-sized. It could not carry people like normal Immortal Gu houses. It would also suffer huge damage if it was used to rampage around. Its specialty was in dealing with Gu immortals. Even Fang Gong would be threatened. "Fang Gong, go die." Xiaoyi who finally attacked, a pitch-black light lump shot at Fang Gong. "Fang Gong, you are still not retreating." Dong Ming and Dong Zhu shouted together. They were extremely panicked because Red River Wheel was on the verge of destruction. Fang Gong instead laughed loudly, not even looking at the pitch-black light lump. "This is the battle of Fang Clan against the world. How can I, Fang Gong, not stake my life?" Boom! Red River Wheel shattered completely. Dong Ming and Dong Zhu were in absolute horror. They were sent flying in the sky, their surroundings filled with fragments of Red River Wheel and corpses of countless Gu worms. They looked at Fang Gong. He seemed like a fearless and invincible heavenly deity. But at the next moment, the pitch-black light lump struck Fang Gong. Success! Xiaoyi who shouted in joy. One clan Gu immortals were exulted. Whoosh! Fang Gong moved his arms, directly crushing the pitch-black light lump. The Anti-Fang Alliance immortals were shaken and scared. Many even subconsciously opened their mouths wide at this inconceivable sight. How can this be? Xiaoyi who could not believe it as he stared with wide eyes. Your turn next. Fang Gong looked at Xiaoyi who as he said calmly. At this moment, Xiaoyi whose heart contracted. He was frightened by Fang Gong's ferocious momentum. Only one thought remained in his mind. Escape. Where are you trying to go? Fang Gong flew towards Xiaoyi who like a meteor. He broke the sonic barrier and left a grand shock wave behind him. Save me. My Xiao clan will definitely reward you well. Xiaoyi who ran madly. Gong Jiao Che, Tang Lan Ku, Qin Lang, Tian De Ji, and the rest moved to block Fang Gong. Fang Gong did not dodge but endured all kinds of killer moves forcibly. Like a fierce tiger or a rampaging dragon, he closed in on Xiaoyi Hu. His aura surged like a rising tiger over 10,000 li. Xiaoyi Hu could not shake off Fang Gong. He watched in despair as Fang Gong neared him. Let this battle be the start of my Fang clan's rise. Fang Gong shouted inwardly, his battle intent burned like inferno. At the edge of the battlefield, high in the sky, Wan Zihong and Zhou Xiong Xian were watching the battle quietly. The former was somewhat restless when she saw this scene. Friends from Heavenly Court, it will be best if you watch quietly. Lu Wei-yin appeared and said. With a smile. Wan Zihong and Zhou Xiongxian's expressions changed as they watched with complete vigilance. At the same time. Northern Plains. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable activated his Luck Path investigative method. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did this every once in a while. He first inspected Heavenly Court. In his view, Fang Yuan had little immortal essence and would have refined the least number of Dao marks. Heavenly Court Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was close behind him, she was the main target to be vigilant against. Heavenly Court's luck had somewhat increased. Looks like Star Constellation Immortal Venerable has already refined most of the Heavenly Court Dao marks. It will be increasingly difficult to inspect her later on. Afterwards, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable inspected Eastern Sea. He saw that Fang Yuan's luck was low, it had slightly strengthened than before, but it was of no significance. A portion of Fang Yuan and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's luck had split from the main portion and moved towards Western Desert. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable gazed towards Western Desert and saw a battlefield. The luck of countless people tangled with each other, forming a blood-red color that was mixed with black. Looks like Western Desert's anti-Fang battle has already started. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable nodded. Fang clan's matter had grown quite big, all 5 regions paid attention to it. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable naturally knew of the details. He inspected carefully and understood, Fang clan seems to be holding an advantage, but there is a huge variable. One clan is hiding something. I see, so Heavenly Court helped one clan like this. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable laughed coldly as he saw through the secret. From the start, he did not interfere in Western Desert's anti-Fang battle. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and Heaven Refining Demon Venerable do not cultivate luck path, they don't know that they are expending their luck in this contest. This is already turning into their weakness. If I am currently in my peak state during my previous life, I can have gained some advantages. With my luck path methods. What a pity, what a pity. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had to use the remaining immortal essence to refine luck path Dao marks. Besides this, although he had many rank 8 luck path Immortal Gu, he did not have a rank 9 luck path Immortal Gu. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2260, Wan Gu Chou. Chapter 2260, Wan Gu Chou. Rank 9 existences, be they Gu immortals or Immortal Gu, suffered from the envy of the heavens, they could not live forever. So, in all of humanity's history, there were only 11 venerables, and they all were restricted by their lifespan. There were also very few rank 9 Immortal Gu that existed in the world. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable finally took a glance at his luck. He could not help but frown. The situation was not good. It was worse than before. But from the information he had, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable still could not estimate where this bad luck came from. Naturally, he was most suspicious of Heavenly Court. What is that old woman, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, playing at? Giant Sun Immortal Venerable was not anxious. He had methods to change his luck. But there was still that flaw. He was lacking in immortal essence and they needed to be used to refine Dao marks. He did not have a rank 9 luck path Immortal Gu, using rank 8 luck path Immortal Gu to change his rank 9 luck was very difficult and would expend a lot more immortal essence. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable soon stopped activating his investigative method. The longer the contest of 3 venerables prolonged, the bigger the importance of information. But Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's inspection duration kept on decreasing. He needed to consider his immortal essence expenditure, and try to save as much immortal essence as possible. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable fell into deep thought, what is the source of my bad luck? Heavenly Court is the biggest suspect, but I cannot relax my guard against Fang Yuan too. He has the sovereign immortal body and can cultivate all paths, his potential is absolutely terrifying. Besides this, he has another advantage. That is Refinement Path. Refinement Path might not be proficient in fighting, but its development potential far surpasses Luck Path and Blood Path. Thus, Refinement Path has far more potential rank 9 Gu than Luck Path, Blood Path, as well as Wisdom Path and Star Path. Each path had strengths and weaknesses. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable kept Luck Path a secret and did not spread it, so its development was limited. Other Gu Immortals would find it difficult to defend against Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's Luck Path methods, but there were few Luck Path Immortal Gu that could reach rank 9. On the contrary, Refinement Path was probably the most widely developed path. Simply because refining Gu was an inevitable part of Gu cultivation. Even Gu cultivators who cultivated other paths would have refined Gu to some extent. Thus, as Refinement Path grew, more Refinement Path Gu cultivators emerged, which meant more Refinement Path Dao marks. Refinement Path resources were unceasing, and there were all kinds of Refinement Path Immortal Gu. Moreover, Refinement Path Immortal Gu that could advance to rank 9 became even more numerous. Fortunately, Fang Yuan is lacking Immortal Essence currently. He is still far from refining a rank 9 Refinement Path Immortal Gu. Maybe, my bad luck is not because of Fang Yuan or Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, but the other Venerables. If other Venerables revived, who would be the most problematic for me? Fang Yuan had Cooking Luck Pot as well as Obscured Heavenly Secret. Although Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had the ability to inspect him, he did not get proper results. If I gain a breakthrough in the Blood Path Immortal Gu transaction, this luck should improve. Fang Yuan was not the only one who obstructed Giant Sun Immortal Venerable in terms of Blood Path Immortal Gu. Heavenly Court had already been doing so since Blood Sea Ancestors' time. Demon Judgment Board's Core Immortal Gu Blood Relation, and Red Heart Traveler's Heart Blood Immortal Gu were things that Giant Sun Immortal Venerable thirsted for. Currently, Heavenly Lord Baizu was still in a long negotiation with Fang Yuan. Longevity Heaven was secretly negotiating with Heavenly Court as well for Blood Path Immortal Gu, but the progress was almost zero. Back in Western Desert, Fang Gong got close to Xiao Yihu and punched. Under his fear, Xiao Yihu moved Immortal Gu House Chamber Pot in front to block. A loud explosion rang as Chamber Pot was destroyed. The punch continued forward and struck Xiao Yihu's chest. Xiao Yihu flew away like a meteor. His chest had sunk in, large amounts of blood mixed with internal organs gushed out of his mouth, leaving a trail of blood. One punch destroyed Chamber Pot and caused Xiao Yihu to be on the verge of death. Let's retreat. We can't fight anymore. The Anti-Fang Alliance army was shaking with fear, their fighting spirit was almost depleted. Fang Gong's strength far surpassed their expectations. He was actually not restricted by Chamber Pot. This first supreme elder of Fang clan was truly the nemesis of Immortal Gu houses. Ever since Fang clan attacked Wan clan's Tall Pine Oasis until now, he had already destroyed Winding Light Platform, Red River Wheel, and Xiao clan's Chamber Pot. These three Immortal Gu houses were all at rank 7, they could match rank 8 battle strength. There is one more left. Fang Gong turned around slightly, ignoring the rank 7 Gu Immortals as he glared at Myriad Age Building. Only Myriad Age Building was left among the Anti-Fang Alliance army's Immortal Gu houses. Myriad Age Building was a rank 7 Immortal Gu house, it could match rank 8. It was the final pillar of the Anti-Fang Alliance army. Once it fell, Fang clan would obtain complete victory. This was the most crucial point. The remaining Gu Immortals might be rank 7 elites with their own specialties, but without Myriad Age Building to stabilize their position, these people would be like a disorderly mob. Fang clan has 6 Immortal Gu houses, and they are all at rank 7. Our side only has Myriad Age Building left. Retreat, retreat. Heavenly Court is still not making a move. Sigh, they are really incompetent. Look at how much Heaven Refining Demon Venerable supported Fang clan, a total of 3 Immortal Gu houses. What did Heavenly Court provide? Fang Dichang displayed a Wisdom Path Gu Immortal strategic ability. At this delicate juncture, he ordered Fang clan to stop chasing those rank 7 Gu Immortals, instead controlling Immortal Gu houses to surround Myriad Age Building. Seeing that Fang clan did not give chase, besides the Wan Clan Gu immortals, everyone else in the alliance retreated madly. Wan Zhao's and Wan Haoguang's expressions were ashen as they retreated into Myriad Age Building. Fong Clan's 6 immortal Gu houses encircled Myriad Age Building. Fong Clan's expression was leisurely as he flew towards Myriad Age Building. Surrender, Wan Clan. I guarantee in the name of Fong Clan that as long as you surrender and cede a portion of your territories, my Fong Clan will not ask for your immortal Gu, nor kill any of you. Fong Gong said. Their conditions were actually so lax. We won. Fong Lang and Fong Yun were already starting to cheer in joy. The Fong Clan immortals did not object to Fong Gong's surrender terms. Fong Clan had already discussed this. If this kind of situation happened, they would persuade Wan Clan to surrender. If Wan Clan surrendered, it would be extremely beneficial to Fong Clan. Once Wan Clan admitted their defeat, Fong Clan could righteously occupy a portion of Wan Clan's territories. Wan Clan would no longer have a righteous cause to rally the other super forces to organize another anti-Fong alliance. Naturally, Wan Clan's headquarters and some important resource points would be given back to Wan Clan. But for Fong Clan, the overall gains were absolutely much larger than losses. Lord Lu Wei-yin, looks like Fong Clan has won. Naturally. Just look at who is supporting them. 2 Rockman Gu immortals were standing beside Lu Wei-yin, showing a prideful smile at this sight. But Lu Wei-yin was frowning as he sensed something amiss. These 2 Heavenly Court Gu immortals still have such relaxed expressions, looks like things are not so simple. Heavenly Court's Zhou Xiong and Wan Zihong had indifferent expressions with anticipating gazes. Suddenly, a woman's voice rang out from Myriad Age Building. Fong Clan's descendants are really amazing. Your strategy is also comprehensive, but is my Wan Clan so easily bullied? Fong Clan's immortals were bewildered. At this crucial moment, this strange female voice actually spoke as Wan Clan's representative. Who was she? Did Heavenly Court interfere? But Fong Clan knew the information about Wan Zihong, and this was not her voice. Fairy, may I ask for your name? This is a fight between Fong Clan and Wan Clan. Fong Gong frowned, asking inquisitively. Ha ha ha. The mysteriously female immortal laughed loudly. Her voice was hoarse and unpleasant, but it was filled with complete confidence. Following the laughter, a vast rank 8 aura spread out. As wind, dust, and flowers scatter, people and eras change beyond recognition. As the frigid bells of time shatter, none can dispel the sorrow of myriad ages. As the recital ended, heaven and earth turned dark. Cold mournful wind and bleak clouds filled the sky. Inside several li of radius, all living beings, including Gu immortals of both sides, felt an intense sorrow attacking their minds. Sorrow, sorrow, and more sorrow. Dejection, disappointment, depression, worry, all kinds of negative emotions made the people shed tears, their hearts felt stifled and suffocated. Fong Clan's 6 immortal Gu houses surrounding Myriad Age Building became unsteady as they started shaking, almost falling down. Fong Di-chan, who was inside thought-expelling pavilion, was half-kneeling. His expression was distorted as he resisted Wan Clan's terrifying killer move with all his strength, blood seeping out of his mouth and nose. Fong Gong barely managed to resist, retreating in panic as he exclaimed, "You are Wan Gu Chou, one." In just a short few moments, more wrinkles appeared on his face. He was growing old rapidly as close to 100 years were extracted from his lifespan. Retreat. Fong Di-chang said with much difficulty. Fong Clan's 6 immortal Gu houses retreated in panic. The Alliance Immortals who had already retreated to the edge of the battlefield were dumbfounded at this sight. Wan Gu Chou. Isn't that female immortal the strongest peak rank 8 in Wan Clan's history? When she was alive, Wan Clan almost dominated the whole of Western Desert. She lived for 10,000 years, Myriad Age Building was created by her. She is actually alive. Right, This is very likely to be Heavenly Court's move. It must be her. Her move, Everlasting Sorrow, is famous throughout history. Only she who cultivates both Time Path and Wisdom Path can use it. And she is the only one who can amplify this move to such a terrifying degree through myriad age building. This move already possesses the air of pseudo-venerable level. The immortals were shaken. Wangu Cho stopped the killer move as she said to the Alliance Gu immortals, "Are you still not making a move?" The immortals understood at once. They charged over with battle cries. Fong Clan was struck by the killer move Everlasting Sorrow. The sorrowful and depressive feelings were hard to get rid of. They could not even use 20% of their battle strength and had to retreat in defeat. Under Myriad Age Building's lead, the Alliance army gave chase. The Immortals first destroyed Smoke Wave Building, then destroyed Thought Expelling Pavilion. To save Fong Di Chang, who was in Thought Expelling Pavilion, Fong Gong and the other Immortals were forced to make a move. After a deadly battle, Fong Di Chang was rescued, but Fong Clan paid a disastrous price for this. Their most exceptional Immortal Gu House, Fallen Flower Hall, was destroyed. Fong Dong Shi and Fong En Lei, these two elite rank 7s, died in the battle. Finally, Fong Clan brought the remaining 3 damaged Immortal Gu houses and left the battlefield. 1. Her name makes up the sorrow of myriad ages in the poem. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible.